Solar eclipses. Solar eclipses. Solar eclipses. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we get started again. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we get started.
Reasons why we've been separate ways, feeling all alone in your company, keeping you captive with deadly chains.
We're night and day, solar eclipses. Too afraid to look, too scared to miss it. We're night and day, solar eclipses. End up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we get started again. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we get started again. Tomorrow we build, depends on the future we want, we can make it as real. Maybe we will though, give up the ego. Making it feel good. Too scared to just let it go. Too scared to just let it go. Tomorrow we build, depends on the future we want, we can make it as real. Maybe we will, though. Give up the ego. Making it feel good. Too scared to just let it go. Too scared to just let it go. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we can started again. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we can started again. Started again.
on the moon. When you're walking on the moon, walking on the moon, taste your happy place. It will change your groove. When you're dancing on the moon, dancing on the moon, we dance again. All our trouble seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some levels that I've never been. When we dance again, all our trouble seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some places that I've never been. When we dance that I've never been. That I've never been. That I've never been.
Hello and welcome to the Rocket League Rivals Series in North America. My name's Tom F. Battinger, and I am not in the studio today. I'm at home from North Hollywood to North Atlanta. Now, there's a reason for it. Psionics is looking out for everybody. Unfortunately, due to the coronavirus, COVID-19, everybody is going to limit their travel. And so for the remainder of the Rival Series, we'll be broadcasting from here and with my two co-casters from there and there. Shout out to Subi and Spaceman. Thank you for joining me. Subi from the West Coast, Spaceman from the East Coast, and all of us right here in your living room. Subi, how you feeling this afternoon?
Doing pretty good, man. Definitely missing you guys. Miss having you during the lunch break. I had to eat chicken nuggets all by myself, so it was a very weird feeling.
How about you, Spaceman? How you feeling, bud?
Feeling great, man. I liked the matches we got this morning. A lot of good upsets, but I'm just happy to be back with you guys.
Yeah, it's really exciting. North America, still a hotbed of emotion and activity. Up on top, we see the same old, the strong boys in Stromboli. These guys are undefeated. So is Omni Nation, but they're one game behind, so it's 5-0 and 4-0. Down there at the bottom, Jacob has yet to really find his footing alongside RBG, and both of them will be playing today pretty much off the top. So an interesting look here at the North American scene. Wow. Like, where do we start? There are so many different things going on here. And so I'm just going to give the floor to you guys and let you kind of pick a winner. Spaceman, what sticks out to you in North America now that we're 4 weeks in?
Honestly, I was gonna say like the middle of the pack sticks out because the middle 5 or 6 teams are all 2-1, 2-2. I mean, it's gonna be a bloodbath in that, trying to figure out who's gonna be our top 4. But honestly, 72 PC, our first match of the day, they're the team that sticks out, man. 0-3, bottom of the rankings. There was so much hype going into this team at the start of the season. A former NRG player, Jacob, I mean, Demo, Lion Blaze, the third man. I mean, there's so much we were expecting, and we find him here. And I'm surprised how North America is shaking out.
Well, 72 Pin and RBG are going to play today, but let's take a look at what they're playing for. One more reminder, we are here in the Rival Series, which means we're beneath the Championship Series, but that just means you're working your way up. If you finish first in the Rival Series, you're in. The RLCS welcomes you aboard. Number 2 and 3 will face off against number 8 and 9 for their spot to play in the RLCS, and everybody else goes back to the drawing board. Some teams stick their spot, but as we know in the Rival Series, roster mania is exactly what we expect to see. And then, of course, there's money on the line as well. Should you finish in that first position, not only are you going to get a chance to play with big boys on the big stage, you're also taking home the big bucks. 13 thou in your pocket. Well, I guess you got to split that with your teammates. But 10, 9, 8,000 for second, third, and fourth place, respectively, all the way down to 10th place, even still grabbing a couple $1,000 as well. So looking at these teams, what they're fighting for, and who they're fighting, welcome to the Rival Series one more time. 4 matches today on the North American docket should be interesting. Subi, who do you want to see take the field today?
I want to see Stromboli always. I think that's everyone's answer. We get to see some fun stuff out of them every week that we get to watch them. But with that being said, I'm very curious to see how Monkey Business comes out in that third matchup against Absolute Leverage. They did get their first win last week, but for me, that's the team that I had high hopes for this season, and they've been pretty lackluster.
Subi walks us through match 4 and 3. Match 2 will be Chaos Esports Club versus Warriors International. That team is Jay Wismont. And then, of course, we'll start off the day with 72 Pin Connector versus RBG. So, Spaceman, give us sort of the helicopter view. 72 pins, RBG. What are the notes to kind of take home about this match?
The notes to take home are, at this point in the season, if you're sitting at 0-3 and you're struggling to find wins, it's about individuals who step up. Lion Blaze has been the individual to step up for 72 PC throughout the entire season. We're looking to Jacob and Demo to follow that. We need Jacob to start finding some life. On the other side, for RBG, Bambi and Porklet, a good duality there. Bambi had a couple of crucial goals last week, but still, this team is a little too underwhelming. They haven't had a lot of life in them. I haven't seen anything that has stood out and said, yo, those series are close. There's no question they'll be on the right track soon. I've been waiting to see what RBG can do, of course, formerly known as Zookeepers. And this is a team that going against Jacob, again, you want to follow same structures, shut them down. Shut 72 PC down, find your first win of this week, and make them look silly on the pitch. That's what they need to do, but they're both 0-3. They got to find something.
Talk to me, Subi. Talk to me.
Lackluster? They went 2-3 against Stromboli in the B stream last week. RBG.
Lackluster.
Yeah. Oh my! You cannot say lackluster when they go 2-3 against Stromboli.
But they're playing the best team in the league, and they yes, it's cool they went 2-3, but they still lost. It's still an L. It just, at the end of the day,
true.
It is what it is.
But it is a feather that they can put in their hat. They can say, hey, this team won 9 games and only lost 1 up to this point, and then we took 2 off of them. That's twice more than any other team has done. And they played, 3 teams before them?
I'll give you that, but they're still 0-3. At the end of the day,
Okay.
you have no wins.
I'm here for the Subi side of the conversation. When we look at the standings, that's when I go to Vin Diesel. But when I look and we're doing the analytics, this is where the matches matter. 72 pin connector, very, very close. They all 2 threes for their matches, despite a big 0-3. RBG going to get up against Stromboli. I mean, this is just barely not a coin flip. We heard you guys kind of talk about it a little bit. Subi, I'm going to ask you to push your chips into the center and pick a team. 72 or RBG, and why?
All right, and I'll take all of my chips, and I'll go all in on this call right here because I disagree with Spaceman entirely. While
That's fine.
Yeah, RBG is 0-3. They went up against Stromboli and looked great. But who's been in 3 games? Do I know how to talk today? I'm not sure, but who's been in 3 game 5s so far this season? 72 PC. And it's no easy teams that they're facing. They've gone up against Chaos, Mirage, Monkey Business. I mean, these guys are playing hard opponents and taking them to game 5. Yes, they're 0-3, but this is where they get their first dub of the season up against RBG. 72 pin connector all the way.
Spaceman, your take?
I'm taking RBG. I haven't seen enough from 72 PC. I haven't seen enough from Jacob or Demo. Lion Blaze has been a different factor. I asked Reddit, I said, who's your standout player so far in North America? And a lot of people said Lion Blaze. I haven't seen enough from the rest of the team. RBG, like you said, they took Stromboli to game 5. They won 2 games. But I think this is their upset week. I think they win their first series here. I'm taking them.
You can't use my argument to help you out.
Yes, I
Get
can.
out of
That's
here.
exactly why I'm here. Yes, I can.
We call that jujitsu, your own body weight against you, and I'm gonna execute the chokehold here. I go with RBG as well. I mean, you went the distance versus Stromboli, and you talk about going all in. I can't because all my stock is in Stromboli. So with that in mind, I got to go here with RBG. We'll see if the transit property is in effect here. So this is going to be a real tight one, I think. Either it's going to be explosive or really, really dead. I want you guys to answer. Subi, you first. Are we expecting high score or low score?
I'm expecting low score.
Okay. Subi seems a little bit trepidatious about that answer. And so I won't make you guys talk anymore. I'll ask the players to do the talking. Subi and Spaceman grab the mic, and we'll grab the action. Match 1 on the way.
Well, Subi, I am expecting a pretty high score all throughout, but I don't think we're going to go to like game 5. I think this is either going to be a 3-0 or 3-1 win for either, whatever side actually comes out. I think we're going to be looking at 4-3 last-minute goals that stretch them away. You and I have had discussions about 72 PC's capabilities and their lack of production. And while Zookeepers kind of has flown under the radar and they haven't performed obviously at expectations, but we haven't been looking at them to blow us out of the water, I think we have been looking at 72 PC and saying, what in the world's going on with this team? Of course, Jacob was an X factor for us. He was the number 1 guy, but it's Lion Blaze, the 3rd man in, who's done all of the carrying up to this point.
No, yeah, Lion Blaze has 10 goals on the season. Jacob and Demo combined for 8. So to say he is carrying the season, I think, is an understatement at this point. This guy has been insane, and he's going to have to show up huge here for them to win this. But I think this is a series where he does show up huge.
And I think one of the things that I love about your prediction, my prediction, is that they're 0-3, right? There's only one way this can go, and we both have such valid arguments of how these teams should play, how they should be able to secure the W. It's just about who steps up, and I think that's really where we're looking for separation. We're looking for separation at 0-3 between Jacob and Portland and Bambi at the end of the day. So to start things off, it's in control of 72 for now, as Jacob's going to knock it up, but Portlet will steal it away. Lion Blaze again comes over the middle and sends it back to the other corner before Bambi cuts it off in rotation. And this is a situation where, if I could wear that shirt, I would. Strike hot while you can. You're both 0-3, and you need positive momentum where you can find it.
Yeah, just don't get a little too far ahead of yourselves. You see that when teams are down in the season as far as standings go, that they come out and try and make a point right away. And a lot of times they get hurt for it and punished. And here comes Portland off that side wall. He's got Tool middle of the field, but you see Tool go to the side there. Probably smart play there because he gets to come off that side wall, but the whiff comes out, and that's going to kill their offense here and give 72 PC a chance to break out of defense.
And there was a center in the back line, but I believe it was Lion Blaze who missed the hit, so there was no goal there. Of course, we still sit at 0-0. The ball's going to be front of the net now, taken out of the box by Demo. He gets it over a defender, and up for Jacob. A pass downfield. It was perfect, but he couldn't finish it. Lion Blaze tried to stifle it into the corner. The challenge won, however, by RBG as they push it back up to the top of the ceiling, and Porklet will control it now, pushing it down for Jacob to grab away and send it back out towards midfield. Bambi controls it. Jacob follows suit, and it's back to the 50-yard hash before Porklet knocks it off the ceiling, and Lion Blaze sitting in the back line as that third man out gets a breakaway opportunity, and here comes 72 PC with a chance.
So the reason that I was so hesitant when FDOT brought up, is this going to be high scoring or low scoring, is you've got bad offense and bad defense at times from both teams. And it's just so hard to know when the offense is going to strike hot and when it's just going to fall apart. Good defense there from Demo. But right now, 72 PC is lowest goals per game and lowest assists per game in the league. They just don't produce offensively. But on the other hand, RBG has the highest saves and allows the most shots. So it's kind of like, well, if RBG doesn't show up on defense, then 72 PC theoretically could get a lot of shots, but it's just a matter of controlling midfield, I feel like.
It's kind of like a perfect mirror match. Like one team gives up a lot of shots, but they save a lot, and the other team doesn't really get that many shots. And so it's basically who's going to lose their personality first. The biggest problem is that you're midway in the season, and now you're not only playing for a team ranking, but you're hopefully playing for individual rankings as you're looking for scouts to start picking you up for the RLCS. And that's where Lion Blaze could really come in and change some things. But for now, it's going to be Demo carrying. Bambi back to midfield. Lion Blaze follows it up. And now Jacob behind will hit it forward, and Bambi saves it away.
Good bumps coming out from Jacob. He hasn't gotten a lot of goals, a lot of assists this season. His accuracy has been very poor, 9.5%. But hey, if he's shaking up the players like that, just going for demos, going for bumps, that could help out Demo and Lion Blaze a ton.
So about 3 minutes into this first game, and no one has scored yet. And Bambi off the ceiling, cleared away by Lion Blaze, out of net. Here comes a follow-up from Porklet, and that's going to be saved at the last second. And again, a good job from RBG staving off this push, but this relentless continuation of passing plays down into their half has kind of punished some teams. Fortunately, they haven't been able to find the win, but that might change here this weekend.
Good cut from Jacob once again. The positioning from him is tremendous. Cut off that passing play, and here comes Jacob. Gets the catch, gets the carry, and just misses that upper 90 just off of his mark, and that was a good opportunity for 72 PC, but 30 seconds remain, and so far, RBG holding on tight.
Looked like an open goal and possibly a missed opportunity, but you just can't miss those. Moving into the crunching moments of game one. The ball's going to go into the corner. Tool will have control. Jacob goes up for the challenge, doesn't win it, but Demo and Lion Blaze are sitting at midfield, and this could be a chance. As we watch it unfold. Centered, yes. Where's Jacob following up? That's an open net.
Oh! And two off the right post and off the left. Just inches away from ending game one, but instead we go into overtime.
And that ball's going to hang slowly right over the goalpost, but Lion Blaze will control it down into the corner. Almost stolen away by Porklet, and now a clearing chance. This Tool has to fall back in transition. Oop, not enough boost. Back to midfield. Jacob now following up. Lion Blaze going to follow in pursuit. Does get a second touch, but again, still stalled out. Now Tool will send it back the other way, and this is going to fall down before Jacob sends it back to the sidewall. And here comes Bambi with a center. And they have to be careful, but they do have two men back for RBG on defense, so they're playing back, playing safe. They don't want to give up any quick goals or easy transitions.
There it is. Oh, good cutoff there from Bambi. Way to challenge at the point of contact, take away as many angles as possible. And good pass forward up to Porklet. Nice transition offense, but didn't lead to much as Lion Blaze is going to poke this one right back into the orange half. We just crossed 1 minute of overtime, and still neither team willing to budge. The shots are definitely coming out. 9 for 72 PC, 10 for RBG. And neither one able to crack through so far.
Saw Jacob get very aggressive and physical in the net to bump players out, something we didn't see 2 weeks ago. So there is some improvement there. Let's see if they can rally that into a Game 1 win. Another demo at midfield. So numbers advantage RBG, but now back to full strength is everyone. That's going to go off the back wall. Tool with a waterfall down. But Jacob has easy time clearing it away. A double commit on the side. But no one's going to get a handle of it, and back the other way for Jacob, who's going to play it into the corner, and Tool steals it away. This could be a goal. No! Porklet's able to save it at the last minute, and now a transitional opportunity for RBG.
That was just good defense there from RBG, covering both sides of the net, taking away every possible option for Lion Blaze. And good bomb downfield. Bambi was looking for Tool, but that was a hard pass to reel in and then immediately turn around to pass it forward. This one's dangerous. Jacob goes for the back pass. No one home for RBG, and Demo can't squeeze it in. And again, RBG getting away with another one.
You talk about them giving up shots. The goalpost is saving most of those, but they have to find a way to get this out of their own half. I mean, they've been stuck back here for quite some time. Here comes a second attempt. That's going to do it. Lion Blaze again, stepping up when answered, when questioned. And there he is, finding the first goal of the game. It came in overtime, but it's enough for the win.
And that's a tough read there for Tool to come out of your own net. That pass is coming hot off the backboard towards the top of the box. 99 times out of 100, you're going to hit that at this level, but those rare mistakes are going to come out, and you are going to get punished for it. And 72 PC take game number 1, and that was a lot closer than I was expecting. I know both teams are 0-3, but it really, we've talked about it a lot this season, and we've probably used it way too many times of a chess match, and this one genuinely did feel like a chess match.
Of course, you have 8 shots from Porklet, 2 from Bambi, none from Tool, but I think that we kind of have to mesh the two sentences we put together. You said it was going to be a low-scoring game. I said it was going to be high-scoring, but it might come down to the wire. I think if we just push those together, low-scoring, down to the wire. Again, I don't see this series going the distance, but we could see games that go to overtime each and every time. And Lion Blaze, once again, steps up when called upon, finds the goal, 3 shots, 3 saves. Jacob got very physical in net, something we haven't seen before. Demo was relatively quiet, had some good defensive rotations, but I feel like the factors that we've talked about with 72 PC are still here. They haven't gone away. It's just that, once again, Lion Blaze is bailing them out of a bad situation.
Yeah, he definitely is a special player, something that, we get to witness. It seems like few players every season in rival series where a player comes along and you just feel like you're witnessing something special. And that's Lion Blaze right now, just all over the field. But game 2 underway. Can RBG bring this series back to 1-1?
Now, Subi, I've talked about the importance of getting someone other than Lion Blaze involved. A quick shot down from him as I say that. And I've also talked about the fact that RBG went to game 5 against Stromboli, but it's been more of like a team loss effort. No one's kind of stepped up the way Lion Blaze has for RBG. What are you seeing out of these guys? What is it that shows you on the pitch they've been struggling to find open nets?
Well, you bring up Stromboli, that they took him to game 5. We talked about it pre-show, and while that is an amazing feat, I feel like Stromboli played down to their level. They kind of overlooked them and thought that it would be a lot easier matchup than it was because this team has yet to win. So it took them a while to take this team seriously. And then once they did, it was Stromboli's game. It was game over. And what they need to do to win matches and find better shots is pass the ball a little better. Right now, the passes just aren't there. They're going for individual plays up and down the field. You see a passing play develop there, but the shot doesn't come out. So they've got to connect with their shots for these plays to work out. And I think this team will be just fine as the season progresses further.
And they don't look afraid on any of these commits on offense. It's just like you said about executing when you get the opportunities. Of course, those opportunities come short and far between. And sometimes it just takes one good bounce Unfortunately, Tool had to go and reach for that one. Here comes Demo now, but stuffed in the box and blocked away by Bambi up to the sidewall. Lion Blaze now gets a second hit. That's going to go off the back wall. Anyone to follow up? No, Demo will be there, and so will Tool. Flicks it over Defender. That's an open net, but Jacob grabs it off the top of the crossbar and moves it away.
It was a great save from Jacob and a good challenge there as well. Difficult ball to get up to, and he does it perfectly. And here comes Tool. Another great challenge from Jacob, but Demo loses control of that, and Porklet's going to take this one down to the blue half. Lion Blaze and Jacob both on that back wall. Net's going to be open for just a few seconds, but again, Jacob cutting the passing lanes, Jacob finishing the double tap. Is there anything this man can't do?
Just great spacing all around. Intercepts it off the backboard. I'll take it myself. Makes one defender miss coming out of transition on the right. And as that was unfolding, I was thinking, man, RBG is leaving so much space on the field that if a bad clear comes in or a lucky bounce goes over one player's head, it's just a race to the finish. And there you go. Jacob able to capitalize and finds goal one for him in what seems like 2-3 weeks. But that's what you need. You need him to start stepping up. The guy's been a former pro, and this is a chance to rewrite your own script here in Rival Series after starting 0-3. But back to the other side, Jacob who intercepts it on the back wall. It's going to be set up for Bambi. He will control it. Challenge one by 72 PC. Lion Blaze dribbles over one. Over Porklet to the sidewall. Bambi back to the corner. Demo following in. Centered for a teammate. Yes, that's Jacob towards the top shelf. But Lion Blaze controls it.
It just seems like 72 pin connector is just starting to get shots whenever they want to right now. Good challenge from Bambi, but smart play to rotate back from Demo, and he booms it downfield. Porklet, that could have been punished, but 72 PC rotated back to defense. All three wanted to gather up some boost, and again, just trying to break out of their half, and RBG can't get any type of offense started.
This is the Jacob we were looking to see at the start of the season. Already has 1 goal, 3 saves, or 3 shots, excuse me, in this game. And we were looking for this. We know what his caliber is. We know what he's capable of. It's just about getting him going. And if he's able to continue and find this form, not only throughout today, but through next week and the week following, who knows what this team could do and be able to turn things around, as the middle of the pack of North America is so bunched up.
Yeah, I talked about it week 1. My one question mark of Jacob has always been the rotations. That's since day one, ever since I've watched him, has always been just, I feel like the rotations could be better from him. It throws his teammates off. And this match, this series so far, rotations have been perfect from him. His teammates can read what he's doing and they can be confident in the hits they're getting. Tool misses that one, but Porklet isn't going to miss the follow-up. And just like that, game number 2 is all tied up.
And those rotations you were talking about, so similar here. Tool in a good position, banks it off the side of the post and sets it up for Porklet off the pass. But again, like you said, I mean, that was the question mark with him. And in this first goal in game 2, Jacob played the rotation perfectly. He got out in front and a missed challenge. Now Bambi can carry by himself, taken away. Oh, that's going to be off the backboard. And back to midfield, and here comes Jacob now following in pursuit. Going to use this off the top of the ceiling, pinch it back down, set up for a teammate. That's Lion Blaze, but it's saved away by Porklet, no problem. And both teams showing mirrors of respect to one another, as they're going to fall back into the blue half. No grab control for now. 72 PC look to hopefully take game 2.
That's 2 whiffs from Porklet on that side wall. The first one was a clear forward to him. He had a teammate coming down center field that he could have passed the ball to for an infield passing play. And then that one got by him to thankfully get blocked. But this is going to be dangerous. Jacob looking for bodies in net. 5 seconds to go. Porklet trying to get it towards midfield. And one last push coming out from 72 PC. But Demo can't stretch far enough. And overtime we go once again.
That's going to be the story of this series. I can feel it. It's just who's going to win it off the start. Well, challenge won by Lion Blaze, taken off the back wall. Jacob there in setup position, moving across the ceiling, sets it down. Oh, that was so dangerous, but Tool was able to save it at the goal line. And they just need to clear it away for RBG. You cannot allow Jacob to get comfortable, like you said, on these rotations. Once he does, it just allows Demo to open things up, and Lion Blaze is the X factor. He's the guy that can make things happen.
Demo just taking that ball all the way down to the orange half by himself. Bambi can't get that one around, and a good cutoff there from Tool. Numbers coming out from RBG. but missed their target there. And 72 PC, ever since week 1, even prior to week 1, we've known that those long clears are their Achilles heel.
Yeah. Well, and that kind of plays into just, Jacob's lackluster transitional defense. But that's changed clearly. And that's kind of what's kept them at midfield for the last minute and a half. We'll see if they can continue that. But for RBG, they've been pretty quiet this entire game. They've just been playing great defense, but they give up so many shots, and eventually that's going to fall. On the sidewall, it's Jacob. Back to Lion Blaze. It's going to be off the back wall. It's going to fall down slowly, and Bambi gets the trickle. Back to midfield. Demo going to intercept it. Tool wins the challenge into the corner. Lion Blaze will be there as well. And he gets it over 1. Now just basically a one-on-one in the box. Can he win it? No, stuffed, but here comes Jacob, and that's going to be game 2. Jacob gets the flick over the defender, and it was all set up by Lion Blaze again. The guy does it all, and Jacob comes off rotation, side swipes it, hello, back of the net.
And Lion Blaze got underneath Tool there, so he couldn't get a second follow-up save. I don't think he would have got a touch on it anyway, but good heads-up play from Lion Blaze to disrupt the defender, and Jacob gets his 4th goal of the season. Took him a while to wake up, but hey, now he's starting to look pretty dangerous.
Demo with 5 saves through 2 games. Lion Blaze no goal, but basically sets up the game winner. Essentially, 100% credit to him. Jacob did finally finish 2 goals in game 2. And this is a very different 72 PC team that I think we're used to seeing. We didn't see this 2 weeks ago. We didn't see it week 1. Jacob is much more involved physically on the pitch. He's getting good bumps. He's hitting rotations perfectly. And that, you have to think, that takes a lot of pressure off Lion Blaze, right? He doesn't have to create as many opportunities. He can just play his game, set up things for others. And Jacob is now feeding off of that energy, and that's why they now have a 2-0 series lead.
Yeah, and the rotations, which we've been talking about at length throughout match 2, it's just going to bring this whole team together, make them a true Rocket League team. And we've seen that in rival series. We've seen it in RLCS, that if you don't pass the ball more times than not, you aren't going to be winning games. And it's hard for teams to get those assists when the rotations are off point. And you can view it just on the stats alone. Lion Blaze, 10 goals on the or 11 now, and only 2 assists. His teammates constantly rotate back to defense, but in this match, they're keeping that midfield pressure, and it's been huge.
Yeah, no, it really has. And still harping on some of the points that I talked about about RBG was the quietness. No X factors that I've seen step up. Of course, Bambi and Porklet had a great series 2 weeks ago, but at that point, it's 2 weeks ago. What have you done for me lately kind of attitude that this team needs to have. And we need to see an X factor step up. And maybe that will be Bambi, maybe that'll be Porklet. Tool has been relatively quiet this series, playing good defense on the wall. But other than that, I mean, the team's been stuffed in the box, shut out at midfield. And it's been all of 72 PC. And I know when we've picked 72 PC in the past couple of weeks, this is what we expected from them. They're finally showing it here.
Yeah, and it's not lack of opportunities for RBG. They're getting plenty of shots. I believe
they're just not hitting the shots.
Exactly. Their accuracy isn't there. And it's not like the defense has been amazing from 72 PC. There have been moments of amazingness, but more times than not, it's just a missed shot from RBG.
Yeah, and those booming clears have been great. It's just been the follow-ups that they haven't connected on. They've had a couple opportunities with maybe 1 or 2 open nets on transition, but other than that, it's really just been executing and finding accuracy. They haven't been able to do it. And in situations like this where you're gifted a hit into the corner and maybe you can make it work, unfortunately Porklet got a bad bounce and now he gets sent the other way, set up for Bambi. That's a that's a shot high off the top of his car. And still staled out for now. 3:30, plenty of time. Another booming hit. Jacob on rotation.
Danger.
That's going to be a dangerous hit down, but no one followed in, Subi. And now again, we're looking at a 0-0 game.
And it's the poor positioning that is plaguing RBG. Look at the poke from Demo. Such a smart play coming out from the rival series vet.
Huge Demo. Probably wouldn't have gotten back anyway, but quick flick over, no problem. It's like a small floater in the paint, just right over the defender's head. And that's all it takes. Demo finding himself with a goal in this series. And now everyone's getting involved for 72 PC. So if you chose them, you chose correctly. If you're me and you didn't, Better luck
Oh,
next
don't forget
time.
about F. He chose incorrectly
Oh, yeah.
so far, too.
I blame F. It's all his fault. We'll let him know.
I think that's the best way to go about business, is always blame him. But
This is why we
again,
get along so.
it's true. I mean, we are creating a good friendship here. But oh, look at the challenge from Demo. Came out of nowhere. I thought the double commit rather was gonna hurt them, and Porklet gets by one, can't get by Demo, and a great pass Tool with the shot, but the weak shot isn't gonna go through, and here comes 72 PC down the field.
Situations like that, where you're wondering what's the second attempt after you go for an individual stuff in the box. Didn't dunk it. Who else is going to follow up? RBG missing a couple of opportunities. Now a dangerous open net, but Demo got the last touch. Back to midfield. Porklet now up with it. No sir. Taken away by Jacob. Sent towards the corner. One defender misses. Lion Blaze, let him carry that all day, every day. He wins the challenge, up for Demo. That's a good shot on net. Tool pokes it away. Save RBG. Lion Blaze now following. He could get a goal to the top shelf. Lion Blaze, what more could you say?
Oh, baby, just skewers this ball underneath the crossbar. Love the boost tap in mid-air, just feathering it perfectly. And Lion Blaze gets his second goal of the series.
It's individual stuff like that that could make 72 such a deadly squad. It was just about finally executing. Great pass to Lion Blaze. He wasn't able to connect, but no problem. Still, execution was perfect. Demo and Jacob both hitting their rotations. Bambi with a shot down. Jacob with a save away. And while he didn't win the challenge, he did win the aerial, as that ball is going to fall back into the orange half of RBG.
There it is. There's an opportunity. Porklet needs the double tap, and just off his mark. That's a rough one. He was on the right side of the ball initially and had to get all the way to the left to find the angle. But that's an opportunity that they're going to want again. In the pass forward, the shot's there, but Lion Blaze, perfect defense, perfect positioning, keeps this 2-0 lead in favor of 72 PC.
One of the things that I've noticed about RBG this series, great save, is they haven't found a way to bait players out of the box. They've allowed 72 PC to sit back, whether it's 1-2 at the goal line, and they've gone for individual shots across the arc, but they haven't found a way to move numbers out and create an advantage. They've just been kind of sending shots down, hoping one lands, but at that point, it's like a pitching machine, and you're expecting to just knock it out. It's not going to happen. You need to find a way to break up those players sitting inside their goal line, or else they're going to knock it away each and every time.
Right now, 72 PC have really found their wave and are just riding it perfectly. Decided we're going to shred the gnar right now and follow this one to glory. 3-0. Definitely a decisive match against RBG.
I know F. and myself expected the series to possibly go the different way, and I know you were very keen on 72 PC, but I think we can all agree, regardless of the prediction, we didn't expect it to be kind of a hot 3-0 like this. Yes, there were 2 overtimes, but Game 3 flew by. Games 1 and 2 came down to the wire, but if you look at the individual plays in that game, it was all 72 PC during overtime. Control of midfield, control of RBG's goal line. I mean, they didn't let up. This was a complete blowout by 72 PC.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, they controlled the pitch up and down, and RBG got a ton of shots in every single game. Games 1, Game 2, games. They just couldn't connect. And then the shots where they were on target, they were low velocity, they were off target, or into a defender rather. Just the accuracy wasn't there, the shot placement wasn't there, the strength wasn't there that we need to see for a team to just put shots in the net.
they were good shots, but they weren't quality shots. Like, they were just normal shots down. But if you want quality, you have to work more than just hitting the ball towards the net. You need to work players out. You need to set up passing lanes, just basic Rocket League stuff that, sometimes that's the easiest stuff to mess up, right? Especially in crunch time when there's pressure on you to find a win in the series or even in the league. You have to make sure your fundamentals are there. They just weren't here for this series, and it happens. But again, hats off to 72 PC for coming out, finding their first win, and looking drastically better than they did in weeks 1 and 2. I'm really surprised with how this team played, especially Jacob, how well he played in the series.
Well, I can't wait to see what F-Dot thinks about this match that we just got to see. And when I get to tell him, I told you so. But before we do that, we're going to go to a quick break before we watch the games coming out from Chaos EC and Warriors International. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Following the lights of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for all I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Following the lights of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for
Won't you come over? Dying to know where you came from. We're breaking open. Feel like our future's just begun. And all I know is that we lost time. If we stay right here, we could free ourselves inside. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away where no one knows. Let's run away together. Just lead me into your world. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away where no one knows. Let's run away together on our own. Just lead me into your world. Waiting for no one.
Welcome back. It's the Rival Series, and Jacob has finally stood up. A couple of goals here brings a victory to him and the rest of 72 pin connectors. RBG will still remain in black and white. Shout outs to my co-commentators. Say hello to Subi and Spaceman one more time. I heard you guys talking about how I'm always right and how I predicted 72 pin connector to win. Right, Subi?
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly what I was talking about. And then we get to make
Subi's
fun of
lying.
how
He didn't hear
Spaceman
that.
got it wrong.
Subi was the one who put this in my
Exactly.
head. It's his fault.
Well, the game, we said one thing that was correct. Somebody's got to win. Both of these teams have 0 wins coming into this match. 72 takes 1 away. Jokes aside, though, let's kind of reflect there. Spaceman, that was kind of exciting. Jacob finally standing up. You had mentioned you weren't super pleased with Lion Blaze in the past couple of weeks. Has he now ascended to the level that everybody has said he would?
Yeah, I was actually pleased with how Lion Blaze had performed. I was feeling kind of bad for him because this guy had to carry 72 PC in every single game. I felt bad more so for Jacob because of all the things we've talked about and how much pressure really was riding on his shoulders entering the season. And I'm really happy that I love being wrong like this. I love seeing a guy step up in Jacob who fixed the rotational problems we talked about for 2 weeks. He fixed it. And unfortunate for RBG, they do drop that series and now move to 0-4. But 72 PC, I'm just happy that they figured it out and you have such great talent on this team. Now they can start working on finding those fundamentals. I'm really happy with what happened.
Yeah, big point about it just being a heavy weight lifted off of Jacob's shoulder. And
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
be surprised to see 72 pin connector continue the way we saw them in weeks 1, 2, and 3. I think this is sort of the catalyst that this squad needed to kind of wake up. And now they're all wearing the big hat, and we expect the big wins out of them. Coming up next is going to be Chaos Esports Club versus Warriors International. Warriors International are a hard team to kind of put down. Week number 3, they went 0-3 to Mirage. And then last week, they went 3-0 above absolute leverage, which doesn't really make any sense. Chaos coming off of an easy win versus RBG. No insult intended. But so Chaos Esports Club, everybody looking at Taroko and Mekdos. Corrupted G was actually shouted out by Jacob on Twitter after that win. Subi, what do you have to say about Chaos Esports?
Well, this is a team that obviously was in the rival series last season, and I don't think it ended how they wanted to. They lost in the playoffs to RBG.
Yeah.
Different RBG, though. We'll talk about them later on, possibly, but lost to RBG 4-2 in the playoffs. Not how they wanted to end their season. They definitely felt like they could have made RLCS, and I feel like this is the season where they're coming out and saying, okay, we started off last season slow. We're not going to make the same mistakes this season, and they've taken advantage. They're 2-1 right now. Yes, their series have been a lot closer than you would want, but Taroko has been doing fantastic. He's got 10 goals on the season and 24 saves. This guy is everywhere. The perfect captain of a squad.
Spaceman, you seem eager to talk about Chaos Esports Club. What can you say about these guys?
Yeah, Corrupted G has been the vocal IGL for this team, and going against a team like Warriors International, it's basically flip coin. You have 2-1 Chaos, 1-2 Warriors International. Of course, they beat Absolute Leverage, but I see another situation like what we saw in Europe this morning, where we had BDS going against Baguette, one team that's very good at putting shots down, another team that's very good at saving them. But how do the two mesh? You have Chaos Esports, very good at saving shots, but Warriors International last week completely dismantled Absolute Leverage, and they had them create a complete breakdown of defense. I'm interested to see, how do you have Corrupted G and Taroko, an IGL and a great defensive leader, go against Warriors International? They finally find a hot hand. They dismantled Absolute Leverage, which we didn't expect. And Jay Wismont is the guy to look out for. He's always involved in bumps and demos, and that creates passing lanes. Chaos has a lot of work cut out for them this week, but it's going to be a good one.
Well, they've got to work. Will they work their way to a win? That's the question I ask you directly, Subi. Who takes home the dub this week?
Well, it's going to be a tough one. Warriors International has the second highest shots per game in the league at 9.30, just behind Stromboli at 9.5. So they're matching Stromboli pace for pace. Just the accuracy isn't there. And Thunda is the big one I'm looking at 8%. Not the best. So I feel like Chaos Esports, better defensive team than Absolute Leverage, and I feel like because of that, Chaos is going to come out on top.
Spaceman, what are your thoughts regarding match number 2?
There's no question that Chaos is a much better defensive team than Warriors. But the thing that, again, I'm going to harp on, and it was the same what I harped on with BDS, is that good offense will keep you out of bad defense. And I look at Warriors, I look at Thunda to have an explosive week, the same that we just saw Jacob have. Yes, he's been relatively quiet. 8% is not great. But Warriors International, they stepped it up so many ladder rungs last week. I expect that to continue. Jay Wismont was in prime form. It was a hot 3-0 coming in against a good defensive squad. I think they're going to step up to the competition. I'm taking Warriors International.
Yeah, I like the thought process. I won't knock you for that one, but I am going to disagree. I go alongside Subi, and I'm going to go with Chaos Esport Club as well. And really, it's the bromance between Taroko and Mektos. I love the way that these guys operate, and they found their third, and Corrupted G just fits right on in there. I really enjoy the way that they're able to find their wins, and flat out the fan vote, they're fun to watch. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of what I want to do. I want to see some good old-fashioned Rocket League. So it's kind of what I expect out of KSC Sport Club versus Warriors International. Subi, before we jump in, you said Chaos Esport Club. I'm going to ask you to work against yourself here real quick. How does Warriors International surprise us and get the win?
One word: accuracy.
Just simple, go for the goal, and, well, get it in. Sometimes it's just all that simple. Spaceman, I'm going to ask you to turn everything on its head as well. You said Warriors International. You focused a lot on what Thunda would be able to do. How does Chaos Esport Club kind of break through and take down the Warriors?
One word: interceptions.
Okay, that one you have to expand on.
Warriors International is really good at setting passing opportunities between all three players. They do triple commit a couple of times. They did it against Absolute Leverage. But when they do triple commit at midfield, they use the back wall. They use the ceiling great. And this is where Chaos Esports needs to find challenges and win them. If you can disrupt that pattern, you create mismatches on the fly in transition, you allow for good shots, they have good accuracy, it all comes into fruition. They just need to find a way to intercept those balls.
Well, we'll see if the interceptions go the way of Warriors, or if Chaos Esport Club are accurate enough to find the W. Ready, set, go. It's all you guys.
All right, Subi. So we're looking at another situation where we could be looking at 2-2, 2-2 across the board when this one's done, or Chaos Esports could be 3-1 and Warriors International is now 1-3. I think that Warriors International is an interesting team going into this 1-2 group. They have a lot of promise. They play great offense. Their defense has been relatively lackluster, but that's been the story for most of these teams sitting at 1-2. On the other side, Corrupted G, Chaos, Taroko, Mektos. I mean, quite a roster. Surprised they're not undefeated in this league. Of course, it's a hard one to beat, but I'm just interested. This could be a very dangerous series for either team, but I'm looking at Corrupted G, I'm looking at Chaos, and I'm expecting great things from them.
I think everybody has, since this roster formed, was we expect this team to do well, and when they don't, they have us scratching our heads, that's for sure. And you see Buddy going for an early demo. Jay Wismont gets it. And a shot just off target, and that's what we were talking about, Spaceman. Accuracy is going to be how this Warriors International team takes down Chaos.
There needs to be a combo of accuracy as well as physicality. You need to bump out Jay Wismont, Taroko off the back walls if you want to create second opportunities for shots. Now that's really where Warriors International can come out and change things up. They can really find success early, but they have to be able to capitalize. It's going to be Thunder on your screen. Buddy will center it for him, now into the corner. Corrupted G's going to cut it off, and off the ceiling he will carry it. And it's going to be forward now. Taroko falling in the back line. Thunder will gain control and move it up the sidewall. And Mekto should be able to meet it at the goal line before it gets sent down and back to midfield.
Liking the aggression and the pace that Warriors International is setting right now, just coming out, and they get punished for what I was just talking about. A little too aggressive, pushed up a little too far, and Taroko punishes them.
And sometimes those lucky bounces just happen to fall in. And when you're playing a really good defensive team, you need all the lucky bounces you can get. So goal one, of course, goes to Chaos. And they're looking to extend this lead now. 3 minutes, 44 seconds, plenty of time. We talked about winning challenges right there on that goal. Won the challenge in the back line, was able to get a lucky bounce forward. That's all it takes.
Oh, dangerous play, and Jay Wismont, perfect pass. Coming out from Thunder off that side wall. You see Corrupted G off the back wall. Well, Taroko accidentally hits it and puts Mektos in a very poor position.
The IGL, Jay Wismont, Thunder off the back wall, working in tandem. Thunder is going to have a big week. Mark my words. We're expecting things from him. Tied at 1 apiece. Still a whole lot of time to work with. We wouldn't want it any other way. And a big demo back in the base in favor of Warriors. As they're going to move this one forward. That's going to be off the back wall. Thunder with a follow-up, and Thunder with the shot. The man is coming out and striking early.
Great pass forward from Jay Wismont, and then from midfield from downtown, Thunder hits that shot. I've been questioning him all season long, but he's going to answer a lot of those today.
And this is the time to do it. Got to get ahead. Can't play defense with Chaos Esports. No one really has been able to. So this is your chance. Good offense leads to great defense, and it's all vice versa all the way around. Slow one out in front of the net. Buddy doesn't win it. Corrupted G now up. Mektos will meet him on the ceiling. A backhand bump will send it back to the corner before Jay Wismont falls again. Thunder now extending this one over. No, Corrupted G stops it. But it's going to be a side hit from Jay Wismont. Thunder and Buddy should be able to recover, but now a transitional opportunity as Taroko is in front.
Oh, that is a tough block from Thunder. Great defensive stance to keep the 1-goal lead here, and a good flick over the defender.
Flick.
Corrupted G all alone, but Jay Wiz gets a little too much on that ball, and they still keep offense, but they didn't get the opportunity they quite wanted.
I love the presence inside the box from Warriors International. It's just about executing. That accuracy has been a question mark all season. Now Buddy falling underneath, gets a hit up for a teammate. Neither hit, but it's going to be Taroko in the back line. He's going to push this one to midfield, and now he's going to carry center up from Mektos, who could pass it forward, but here comes Corrupted G over the top. Corrupted G off the back wall. Taroko with a shot, and the goal. What a hit. Chaos Esports with a beautiful trio passing opportunity.
Yeah, I love Corrupted G calling his teammate off there. He knew Mektos didn't have the opportunity to put power on it, so he gets that double tap off the backboard. And Taroko there for the cleanup. Gets his second one here in game number 1.
And stuff like that separates Chaos from a team like Warriors International. Those passing opportunities that they create with all 3 men on commits. You need to be able to intercept, challenge, disrupt it any way you can. You have to find a way to stay aggressive, especially at midfield when that pace can get out of your hands. A dangerous shot sent into the corner thanks to Corrupted G's presence on the ball in the air. And now Taroko follows. Buddy in the corner. Does bump it out the other way. A demo from Taroko. Gives them numbers advantage. And back to Thunder, who sends it up for Jay Wismont, who passes it forward to Buddy, but Taroko intercepts. And that's into the corner, now to the adjacent side. Stolen away by Chaos. Downfield by Mektos. Here comes Chaos Esports. Corrupted G now, following. Never mind. Thunder with the intercept up to Buddy. Buddy could carry us along the wall, flicks it over one defender. Thunder in the back line. No, it just gets bumped away, and now he has to fall back, and here's an opportunity, a chance for Chaos.
Oh, great pass, but the poke out is perfect, and Taroko keeps this ball alive. 30 seconds to go here in game number 1. And it's looking like Chaos is starting to push closer and closer towards the net. Good challenge there, but a better 50 from Thunder. But no one up for that ball for Warriors, and they're just going to allow this shot to come into their box.
This one's still hovering in the corner where Buddy carries. One flick over. Jay Wismont who gets into the corner. That's a good hit. Centered for someone. Centered for no one. Back to midfield. They should let this one burn down before we see overtime. And that's going to hit. And we're going to go to overtime in series number 2 of North America. We wouldn't want it any other way. Who's going to win the face-off? It's won by Chaos, but Thunder should be able to recover this, and he does. Corrupted G will meet it in the air, now off the ceiling. A carry, yes. Just a bad flick. Won't get it towards the center of the net.
Yeah, Mo opened it up, but Taroko couldn't quite find that angle. It was a difficult one, and a triple tap from Corrupted G, but teammates weren't expecting it, and it's going to lead to a turnover. Good infield pass, but Corrupted G smelled it from a mile away like a hound dog, and here comes Mektos. Good defense from Jay Wismont. The back wall defense has been superb from Warriors International.
Warriors International are having some trouble spreading the field. They've been committing on the left side of the wall a couple of times. It's allowed Chaos to get comfortable. And a dangerous, bad clear straight down. And Corrupted G punishes him for it. I think Buddy was expecting this to go towards the corner, but it went vertically down. And Corrupted G was in the right place at the right time. And we talked about finding field presence, spatial awareness. You get punished if you're not able to clear it out of your own box and find midfield. And right there, the relentless assault from Chaos Esports finds them a Game 1 win. Thunder, 1 goal, 1 assist, 4 saves, and 3 shots. Stepped up, and so did Jay Wismont, but Buddy was nowhere in the equation. On the other side, Taroko with 2 goals, Corrupted G with 1, and Mektos was involved with assists and saves. Again, a good round team effort from Chaos Esports. Warriors International showing up individually, but they fall just in overtime. I think this is kind of what we expected. While it was an overtime win from Chaos, everyone played to the roles we expected. Thunder showed up. Jay Wismont was the IGL connecting a lot of these passing plays. But Corrupted G and Taroko, I mean, a couple of their passing plays were phenomenal, setting up these goals, and Mektos was just there to get some shots down.
Yeah, and on the flip side, I was impressed with the Warriors' ability to soft touch the ball forward in their defensive half, to clear the ball all the way down the field. It's just smart to see them do that, but the last seconds of overtime, a missed touch in your own half is going to get punished, and Corrupted G with that smart shot to just roll it along and just bait the defender out. He saw the pre-jump coming out, but you got to have clean touches, especially when it's overtime, especially when it's off of your back wall. You can't let that one get away from you. Warriors International now down 1 game in this series, but I was impressed with their play, and most specifically, I was impressed with Thunder in that matchup.
Aside from some of the questionable clears and the lack of accuracy, is there anything standing out, like you talked about Warriors International, that we haven't seen in weeks prior?
Great bump from Corrupted G. Taroko there, net wide open, put one up on the board for Chaos.
Individual efforts, great bump. Taroko again, right place, right time, read it perfectly. Chaos Esports find goal number 1. We're sitting in a similar situation like we had in Game 1, where Warriors International just have to find a way to respond. A questionable open net. It looks like Thunder would have been there regardless, but still, just the amount of pressure that Chaos Esports has put down at midfield in the orange half. It's got to be weighing on Warriors International, knowing they're better on offense, but they can't find any opportunity.
And a good cut there from Buddy, but yeah, it's got to be just so frustrating when you are coming out with good plays and you are putting good shots on target, but the defense is just better right now from Chaos. They aren't leaving big windows open, so if you want to beat them, you have to be as accurate as possible. You have to be able to hit a spot. If you say, hey, upper 90s open left side, I'm going to hit it, you can't miss.
Yeah, they, like you said, they really don't leave windows open, and when they do, you better capitalize because they're going to shut it down and beat you in transition each and every time. Thunder was the man in game 2, but he's relatively quiet off the start. Still, 1 goal separates this game from a tie. And Corrupt G now following back. That's going to be up to Thunder, who doesn't get a good touch, and back to midfield for Mektos to handle. And a dangerous hit off the backboard, but don't worry, redirected by Taroko, up for Corrupted G. And they are still waiting to break away, as that could be an own goal. And you can't miss opportunities like that, Sugi.
It's a tough one. You're trying to pinch it in, but I agree, that's one you're going to want another attempt at. And Taroko, great ground pinch, and gets a pinch off the wall there. May have been looking for a Cookser pinch, but defense was there, probably wouldn't have gone in. And a great demo by Buddy, but Mektos up in time, avoids Buddy looking for a bump, and gets the clear downfield. This is the difference maker right now, the ability to transition from defense to offense so quickly for Chaos Esports.
And those opportunities, those windows that we talk about with Warriors International, it's like taking players like Mektos off the back wall so he's able to steal that ball away. You need to be able to play like physical, individually, so that you can create mismatches and maybe you get a redirect or a good center. But when they give you an inch, you better take a mile. For now, it's just been all of Chaos Esports. And that's going to go again off the back wall, now down to the corner, towards midfield. Jay Wismont should be able to handle it. He does, off the ceiling. Yes, sir, Taroko with a pinch down. Corrupted G will take that pass forward before Buddy intercepts, and Thunder's going to be underneath. No boost, out of the play. Jay Wismont on the sidewall.
Jay. Yeah, just missed that one, but not going to hurt him too hard as Thunder reels that one in. And Jay Wismont gets the touch, uses a lot of boost to get up there. He's back on the blue half with nothing in his tank and not present for offense. The pass is there, and you see Jay Wismont a little late, and it's going to lead to, once again, another offensive push from Chaos Esports.
Well, with 1:37 and counting, 90 seconds between a Game 2 win and a 2-0 series lead for Chaos Esports, and a very big hole for Warriors International.
Oh,
That's
danger.
so dangerous. Great stop by Buddy, but this could be stuffed in the box back into the corner. And I talked in the pregame, I said Warriors International's offense was what separated them in week 3, but here they have been shut out. It's just been great defense, but a good shot from Jay Wismont ties this game up with 70 seconds to go. A bad flick from Taroko, a good pass, a good center, and a good shot from Jay Wismont.
A 1-2-3 combo play coming out from Warriors International, and Jay Wismont, you saw it there, picture perfect accuracy. The defender narrowly missing, may have even just scraped his bumper a little bit. And like you said, this game all tied up now, but I still feel like it's an uphill battle for Warriors International.
Oh, no doubt. 100% agree. I mean, that would be what the momentum tells you. What the pace has told you, a questionable play from Mektos. It looked like he was trying to get a hold of the ball and not move it forward, but gets a bad bounce, and Jay Wismont just says, I'll take it. I'll take that corner of the net. And all of a sudden, 2-1. That might have been the break that they were looking for.
Well, I look silly now. I said it was going to be an uphill climb, and they scaled that, made Mount Everest look like it's a molehill. And a great demo from Thunder on the backside. Mektos not going to let this one get away from him. Jay Wiz with a great challenge, but Corrupted G pushes this one forward. And Chaos need 1 goal, 30 seconds to go. Plenty of time to work with, but still, you'd like to get one now rather than later.
And look how things have flipped. Now it's all Warriors International putting the pressure on. They force Mektos towards the back. Corrupted G misses a hit. That's going to go off the back wall. Anyone to follow up? Yes, another shot all of a sudden. Buddy and company have woken up, and they have completely flipped the script in game 2.
All 3 players getting involved from Warriors International. And Buddy gets his first goal of the series with that one. And they extend the lead to 2. And with this kickoff, it looks like this game is going to go in favor of Warriors International. Chaos put up a wonderful fight, a valiant effort, but ultimately they ended up crumbling because the shots just kept piling on from Warriors International.
You only kept him back for so long. That's a goal, but that's going to be it.
Okay, I like these.
These look great, but at the end of the day,
Pass
it's
forward.
A win is a win.
A win is a win. And, getting as many posters on the wall doesn't matter with that one. Mektos made it look pretty, but Warriors still win game number 2 and tie this series up.
4 shots for Buddy, 2 and 1 for Jay Wismont Thunder, 1 goal, 2 goals for Jay Wismont. I think one of the things that stands out the most was they had been pushed back. Warriors International had been pushed to the brink. They had been sitting in their half for so long, and then all of a sudden they said, hey, we get a lucky break, we get 1 goal. Then Mektos can't handle it on his goal line. I was talking about getting physical with him on the wall and bumping him out. He makes a mistake. Now we're up by 1, and they just found a way to continue it. And you have to tip your hat to them staying in the fight even when the game looked like it should have been over. But that shows you that good offense can always overcome good defense if you can get accurate. You need a lucky bump. Yes, they had a couple, but good team plays from Warriors International. Chaos had a perfect opportunity to close that game out. Kind of broke down on defense, of course, from Mektos, but that'll punish you day in, day out. This series, though, I mean, it could go the distance. Who knows, man?
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a good case for it after games 1 and 2 because Warriors International, it took them a little while to get the flow and rhythm going correctly. But once that infield passing play developed, it was game over for Chaos Esports. They got that tying shot, and then they got a lucky break with the misplay in the defensive half from Mektos, and then they just extended the lead. It's easy to score goals when you have a lead in Rocket League.
That's true. Some teams struggle with it, but in general, I would like to think it's one of the lesser complicated things about Rocket League. That's a booming hit down. Thunder able to handle it, just barely. Gets a save in the process. Great shot from Chaos, and off the start, they are putting no regard to their backline. They want all of the goals while they can get them. It may punish them, however. But it's going to be Corrupted G who sets it up for Taroko.
Sorry about that, Spaceman. All 3 members were
They're
pushed up to that front line, and that's when you see players get punished. A good idea from Mektos, but Taroko was a little too far away. A lot of space given to Jay Wismont, but he elects to just flip that one away, and you got to think he's low boost, so that's why he's doing that.
It was a dangerous hit, but now you have 2 commits. One has to fall back. It's Buddy, Jay Wismont out of the equation. Luckily, though, it's still at midfield, so he's going to come right off the reset and be right there to help out, as he is. Into the side wall, Jay Wismont handles it. Up for Corrupted G, a good demo. Now makes it a man advantage. Power play in favor of Chaos Esports. Never mind, back to full strength. Off the ceiling, no waterfall. To the sidewall. Jay Wismont following. A good hit, centered out for a teammate. A follow-up, no. Good plays from Chaos Esports to get it out. But again, Warriors International, the offense, waking up just a bit. They're looking to at least take a 1-goal lead here in Game 3.
Yeah, they're playing a very wide triangle right now. On the strong side of the ball, they have one player at that midfield boost pad, second player is at center field, and then the tip of the triangle, or the iceberg, if you will, is in the box, just kind of sharking, looking for opportunities, looking for bumps. I like this idea against Chaos, playing aggressive like they are.
I just love the way the Warriors are spreading the field. Great shot, top shelf, off the post. Buddy looks silly, absolutely confused in the bottom of the goal. I think he was expecting him to carry it through, but no. Warriors International able to survive, or excuse me, Chaos Esports able to survive Warriors International for the first minute and a half. And all of a sudden, they're down 1-0 for Warriors International, and they have to play off the back foot. Again, what we saw in games 1 and 2. Now here comes Warriors International for a chance, but it's stolen away. Jay Wismont will handle it at midfield. It's going to go off the ceiling. Let's see if he can carry it. No. They won the challenge. And one of the things I was going to say before that goal was that Warriors International have been winning these challenges at midfield up until that goal. And they've continued that here.
And Thunder misses on that. He had an opportunity. Mektos was the last one back, had an awkward challenge on that ball. Demo to open things up. Corrupted G up in time, and another demo. Jay Wismont with a pass down, and Corrupted G meets that one perfectly. Here's an opportunity. Numbers advantage for Chaos, but gonna lose control of this ball, and Taroko just puts it forward.
That's a dangerous hit into the corner. His buddy's gonna follow it up. I don't think he had a lot of boost. No worries though. I think that was Thunder. It was. We set it up for Jay Wismont. Buddy can't get it under a defender, and Mektos finds it in the air and extends the play down. Jay Wismont has to fall back. Oh, that's such a good stop from Mektos. He gets the goal. Oh my God.
Look at the nice flip off the wall, and then the challenge is perfect. He rolls away from the ball to extend his angle and make sure that if there is a touch, he's going to get the next one. And 2 goals in the back of the net for Chaos. Man, they have just weathered the offensive storm that the Warriors have brought forth.
It was like he extended his wingspan out and was able to just slightly hook it around a defender. Great plays from Chaos Esports, but Warriors International have to find a way to respond. They've had great pressure. They just haven't been able to capitalize. Accuracy hasn't been a main issue. It's been great shot selection.
1v1.
And Taroko almost made a 1v2 look absolutely disgusting. And into the corner we go before Mektos got a hit, gets second, down midfield, into the sidewall, or I should say the corner, and that's a shot, but Buddy clears it away. And here comes Thunder and Jay Wismont in pursuit. How do they play this? At this point, Subi, do you think you send 3 players and try to just get a quick advantage, or do you have to have 1 player back on defense?
This is getting near territory where, yeah, you want to start sending all 3 forward. It's time to just try and pull out a power play. You see Thunder rotating back. That's the right play, but a good challenge there. And 40 seconds to go. Good infield pass, but Corrupted G once again there for the cutoff. Great defensive player and so deadly in that midfield.
And these passes, or I should say these setups, have had relatively long air times. They've been pretty slow. Not a lot of power behind these shots, so that gives more time for Chaos Esports to come in and disrupt it. And that's what they've done for the majority of this game. It was once Warriors International who were finding the challenges and the wins. And now we're looking at a situation with a 2-0 lead where Game 3 is all but done, as that shot will be knocked away. Not going to happen. A follow-up, a goal, a game winner. And Game 3 will go to Chaos Esports as they will take the series 2-1 and send us to Game 4 with Warriors International's backs against the wall. And what was a very strong start, but a relatively underwhelming finish.
And with that one, Taroko gets his 14th goal of the season. And could he make it 15? No. Chaos EC, like you said, going up in the series 2-1. They now have pushed Warriors International's backs against the walls. And the ball's in their court, metaphorically and figuratively. They have put up with the push from Warriors. They constantly have to defend, but the shot placement just isn't good enough from Warriors International right now.
Yeah, and I think it spells... I think the assist column really spells the tale of this game. No one from Warriors International set up good plays in terms of scoring opportunities. There were a couple of shots, but they weren't quality shots. They were more just, hey, we have an opportunity for a shot on goal. Let's go for it. Maybe one of us can follow up. That's only going to work maybe 10% of the time, just because at this level, teams can read that perfectly. And you're basically counting on a play from Mektos like in Game 2 where he was caught unaware and it rolls in. This is a situation where going into Game 4 for Warriors International, the quality shots need to increase. You need more from Thunder. He was great in Game 2. No one stepped up in Game 3 here. It was all of Chaos Esports. They controlled pace. Corrupted G, Taroko, Mektos played perfect. And going into what could be our final game of the series and our final game of the second series of North America, it's really going to come down to who's going to be the X factor for Warriors International. I expect Thunder to come out. I expect Jay Wismont to start calling some better plays in net, but they have to disrupt that flow. You can't allow 3 players from Chaos Esports to sit at their goal line and just knock away shot after shot. You have to find a way to disrupt it.
And I think the big difference maker this series, and I know it's for the team that's in the lead right now, but I think it's going to be Corrupted G. He has been cutting off the passing lanes. He's been taking away midfield boosts. He's been shaking up the offense. I mean, he's been doing everything that you want a player to do. And right now, his intelligence is the difference maker in this series so far.
1000% agree, Subi. And sometimes that's really all it takes. I mean, you could have a really great team, but as long as one player is outsmarting everyone else or finding themselves in a better position, as Jay Wismont gets a demo, it's really hard to fight that uphill battle of intelligence. The Corrupted G.
Smart play, smart
sends
pass,
it out for
but
Mektos.
Mektos misses it.
God, sometimes that just won't land. But this team has such great accuracy that those shots are goals most of the time. So you have to be able to play that. And Buddy will intercept it, sends it up for Jay Wismont, who misses. Over to Thunder. Thunder's circling. Nate gets a hit out to Jay Wismont in the corner. Jay Wismont completely tactically whiffed. And now Buddy following back. It's some of these whiffs that could spell disaster.
Hey, Space, do you, or I should ask, can you tell the game plan from Warriors International right now? Can you tell what they've been trying to do differently?
It kind of looks like they're working the corners and just trying to get like a diagonal shot to the net.
Yeah, they're stuffing the ball in the corners, trying to kind of lengthen out Chaos in a line, it seems like, but they're also... Oh, what a save from Mektos! Gets the pinch all the way downfield, and no way! Oh, almost got the length-to-length goal. That would have been insane. But right now, Warriors have been going for so many demos, trying to get under the skin of Chaos. I love the mind games we're seeing right now.
No, I think you're 100% right. They were stretching out the defenders in the box. They were moving everyone out of the goal line so they could find more space. They have to finish this play. Okay. Jay Wismont gets the goal, and they get lucky on transition. A bit of a mistake as that challenge was won. They need to continue to win it. Jay Wismont with a beautiful clear over the defender, and he knocks it home. But like you said, they were stretching those players out in the goal line, and they were pushing the ball towards the corner. The problem is that you still have 3 players who are sitting at goal line, and that angle is so hard to reach if you're not that accurate of a team. You have to get lucky with those hits, or you have to know exactly where to hit it. And if you lose that challenge, it's an immediate booming clear to the other side, and you're stuck. So hats off to them for a follow-up and another goal as Thunder strikes it home. 4 shots for him, 1 goal. Shooting 25%, it's good enough.
Look at Buddy. Watch Buddy. Oh, I thought he got a bump. Never mind.
Jay Wismont got the bump on the player at the bottom of the ball.
Okay.
So it all works. It all works out.
I knew I saw a bump somewhere, but good on Warriors International just turning the aggression up to 11 here in game number 4, realizing that it's do or die time, and we just got into the second half. Let's see if Chaos can do anything to answer the change that Warriors International have brought out.
While it might not have worked by stretching the line into the corner, it's kind of like an offensive line moving the running back through, to each left or right hash to spread the defense, and then you find weaknesses. That's kind of what I saw from Warriors International. Yes, they didn't find a shot, but they are creating quality shots by showing the defense different looks. And now they have a 2-0 lead to work with. That's basically all they want.
Rare miss, but the pass comes out. Corrupted G all the way downfield, but even if there wasn't a defender, no one was there for a follow-up. And they realized that, hey, Warriors International make mistakes on that back wall. We saw it in game number 1. It led to a victory in favor of Chaos, and maybe they're trying to resort back to that. Let's see if they can pull out mistakes from them.
Jay Wismont has no boost, has to fall back in transition. Oh, a good carry from Buddy. Demo's a player. Oh, if he had it centered and punched it in, I think I would have punched my monitor. There is no way that should have worked, but it almost did. And Mektos with a shot on goal. No. off the top of the wall and back to midfield.
That's a shot where you just go, dag nabbit, I should have had that one. Little too high, the power was there, the placement was perfect. Just too much elevation underneath that ball.
50 seconds from a game 5. That's going to go off the ceiling. It's going to be handled back into the corner of Chaos Esports. Thunder gets the bump, but Buddy should get the recovery. He does. But he actually hits it right up to Taroko. No worries for now, as Thunder and Buddy will work in tandem. And they control the sidewall. A good flick from Buddy, at least gets it out. But here comes a shot. A good save from Thunder, and Jay Wismont will send it back the other way. Thunder wins the challenge. That one's going to be up, and they're burning time, and they're doing it right. Warriors International looks in prime position to go to Game 5.
Yeah, this one's for sure going to Game 5. Okay, almost made me eat my own words, but now, 5 seconds to go. I'm just going to go ahead and say there's no chance that this one is going to OT, and Game 5 underway. Warriors International did what they had to do to really counter Chaos Esports.
I've never seen 6 players hit GGs so fast in a lobby in my life. You can tell these guys are ready. They want to get to Game 5. Warriors International have so much to prove individually, I think, right? I mean, this could be an ego boost for these players. There's been a lot of question marks around Thunder, a lot of question marks around Buddy. Jay Wismont, we've talked about him. We said the same thing about Corrupted G, about Ixo. There's always Lion Blaze. There's standout players on each team that you always give praise to. Usually we don't give a lot of praise to players that underperform for obvious reasons, but Bunny and Thunder have a lot to prove. Thunder has stepped up this series. I think he has at least 3 or 4 goals. On the other side for Chaos, Mektos relatively quiet, Taroko quiet, 3 saves apiece. Corrupted G, you said in Game 4, he's got to be the guy. They shut him down, and it was just kind of their ability to spread the field, throw different looks, and capitalize on good shots with good accuracy, and all came together.
Well, I did say it was going to be Corrupted G if Chaos is going to win, and him at the bottom of the scoreboard says why Warriors International won. It wasn't a terrible performance from him. He just didn't do enough that his team needed him to do here. And Game 5, I'm curious now to see what Chaos is going to do to counter Warriors, because right now Warriors have the right game plan. Hey, keep the aggression up, go for bumps, go for demos, work those corners to spread the line thin, and then hit the wide open shot.
No one played horribly or bad on either side. Everyone played relatively good. It was just the ability to spread the field. That's really what separated Warriors International. And I'm actually interested to see in this Game 5, how does Warriors International elect to throw their looks? Do they spread the field again? Do they try to get mismatches in the box? Or do they continue what they did Games 1 and 2, which didn't work, where they just go shot after shot with very little accuracy? It'll be interesting to see.
And Chaos living up to their name in the opening 20 seconds. It was just chaos at midfield, still in their back half. Mistouches, misplays, whiffs. Let's see if they can get the nerves in check here as Jay Wismont almost posterizes the defender there, but gets away with that. And Chaos pushing this one forward to the orange half, but the Warriors are not letting off the throttle one bit.
Good win by Jay Wismont at midfield, but an even better touch by Chaos Esports. That's going to go off the back wall. Buddy does grab it. A double commit, that's okay. You have numbers at the midfield, and Mektos gets a hit up, now following another dangerous hit. That could be a shot. A little too high and to the left. And cut off by Taroko. Here comes Buddy. That's going to go off the back wall. How do they follow it up? Well, they won't. It's Chaos Esports with the demo, and Chaos Esports with control for now. Back into the corner for Jay Wismont. Slows it down. And Mektos gets just enough of a hit, but he couldn't get enough power behind that shot. You could see it. You could see the opportunity, but it just didn't connect.
Jay Wismont was trying to wave dash into that ball to give himself a little more speed, which would have translated to more power onto that ball, but couldn't connect, like you said. And that's actually a good mistouch there. Corrupted G able to reel that in, but Taroko getting bumped in net and gets out in time. But man, Warriors International looking so dangerous on offense right now that Chaos can't break out at all.
Now we saw this in Game 3, and they started hot. They started like this, just applying pressure left and right. And then they slowed down, and all of a sudden Chaos just stole the lead and never looked back. Kind of worried about what this might spell for Warriors International. Yes, the aggression has been great, But after a while, you're going to start losing some of those boost steals. You're going to start losing some of these challenges. And how do you fall back in transition? That's what could spell disaster in Game 5.
Well, it also gives a team, great pass, but the shot not there. What I was going to say is it also gives a team a little overconfidence because they feel like, okay, we're doing well on offense. We can push in anytime we want. And they start to get a little aggressive, push a little closer and closer to the net, and those booming clears can come out. And we've seen it so many times where that's all it takes is a booming clear on target, and that's ball game.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It comes down to not making mistakes, and if you do, you better hope to God you're in the right position to fall back. Because booming clears have spelled disaster for many, 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 many teams, and they are hoping they are not one of them. Buddy will slow it down, wins a challenge. Jay Wismont follows in. Now 2-on-1. Can he set it up? No. Buddy tried to flick it over Jay Wismont, but he couldn't get the angle, nor could he get the boost behind the ball. No power, no problem. Thunder to midfield. Corrupted G following back. Taroko does get demoed in the process. We'll see it in 2 seconds. And now he's back. Flicked over one. Mektos cuts it off. Who's going to win it? It's Mektos off the back wall. Can anyone follow up? No, off the top crossbar. And again, we're looking at a transition opportunity for Warriors International.
Oh, and Taroko couldn't get there. But either way, the pass wasn't on point. And Buddy has space, has time, gets it over. No, Mektos, great challenge, but used all of his boost to get there. He's going to go ahead and get downfield.
This is dangerous.
Good pinch and good challenge from Buddy. These teams going back and forth, and it's looking like one goal could definitely take game number 5.
No question, and it might come down to a bad bounce, Subi. It could be one bad bounce off the ceiling, one bad redirect. We could be looking at a 1-0 win for either side. We'll see who's able to capitalize. That's into the corner. Can it be centered? No. Too hard hit to the adjacent side. Taroko now juggling. He's going to dribble it over one. That's a good flick, but Jay Wismont saves it. Corrupted G gets the last touch. Into the corner, centered for Chaos Esports. Taken away by Mektos. Bumped out. Buddy does win it. And Corrupted G gets it back to midfield. Buddy over one. Can they follow it up?
Net.
Just not good enough for now.
Oh, they had the play written up. It was drawn, but unfortunately, Chaos erased it off of that whiteboard. And 10 seconds to go. Chaos, dangerous spot. That one close to going in. Thunder keeps it alive, but can't get a touch on this ball. Dangerous hit. 1 second to go. Can Thunder get it? No. Overtime we go. 0-0 is the score line. And whoever gets the next goal is taking this series.
I think the stat is that whoever gets the first goal in overtime wins overtime 100% of the time. Is that correct? I think that's a good stat.
We'll have to ask Stacks because of the demos there. Taroko gets the goal, and they absolutely take this series.
A big demo, a big win, a big goal. Taroko comes in clutch. And Chaos Esports, what did I say? I said they're going to continue to put on pressure for Warriors International, and you said, Subi, 100% correct. One of these days, you can think you can put on so many shots, and it's just not going to work. All of a sudden in overtime, what happens? They lose the face-off. They get demoed out of the box. You lose numbers at midfield. Bang, boom, done. Chaos Esports. One goal was all it was needed in Game 5. And this one went the distance, Subi. I am really surprised with how far Warriors International pushed Chaos Esports, but at the end of the day, the teamwork from Chaos was just too much.
It really was. They just held down their defense perfectly. They had faith in one another. You could tell the comms were on point, and you have to put the crown on Taroko in this match. He absolutely was the MVP. 6 goals, 1
100%.
assist, and he got that solo goal in overtime, definitely with the help of his teammate with that demo, but Taroko is looking very good for Chaos, especially after this series that we just watched.
And what we saw from Warriors International in Game 5, especially in the closing minutes, was, again, they were trying to pinch the corners. They were spreading the goal line out, but the one thing that's plagued them all season, which plagued them here, was the lack of quality shots. They pushed the corners. They didn't get quality shots on net. They missed a couple of hits. Thunder and Buddy weren't really that involved. Jay Wismont didn't really step up. It was all of Taroko and Mektos playing great defense, centering it for players like Corrupted G. And again, 72, or excuse me, Chaos Esports were able to come out. They were able to win in overtime. Hats off to them. I'm still Warriors fall to 1-3, and Chaos will move up to 3-1. But I'm still interested to see how Warriors does because I think they still have a lot to improve on, no doubt. But this is a very talented team. They just have to fix some of these small mistakes when it comes to accuracy on some of these shots.
Yeah, I agree. And unfortunately, the Warriors didn't come out to play as Chaos Esports closed the door on them and kept them in the playground. But let's see what the next two teams can put forth for you guys. We have a fun one to watch. Who's going to get their second win of the season? Will it be absolute leverage or will it be monkey business? We'll find out after the break. Don't go anywhere.
You said you're cool and that it's alright, but you're hiding something that don't feel right. You know life is better when we just talk, when we just talk. That's
it's good, it's gotta get worse, and sometimes it's gonna hurt. If you're ever gonna get that bad, then you better plan your attack. You're braver than you know it. You're stronger than you show it. You're braver than you know it. You're stronger.
The Rival Series has returned. We're halfway through North America's day, and, well, two teams feel good. Jacob and 72 Pin Connector took the win in match number 1, and match number 2 went to Chaos Esports Club. We've got 2 more matches along the way and 2 more commentators. I'm F. But next to me is going to be Supersonics and Stacks, baby. Stacks, how you feeling?
Oh, I'm loving how this day is already shaped up. You know, that last match, it went about kind of what I expected. It would go down to game 5. 2 evenly matched teams right in the middle of the standings tried to scratch and claw their way back up towards the top, and we got another one coming up that's just like it.
Super. You're joining us for the first time on North America. What's up, bud?
Not much, man. Hanging out, trying to decipher. Been watching a little bit of the replays again on North America, going back and forth on who I think's taking down this next one. I'm with Stacks. This next match is going to be another nail biter. Might go down to the wire.
Exactly. And just a reminder, if you're just joining us and asking, why are we here? Just some safety precautions we're taking with the coronavirus going around. We're making sure to keep players and casters and everybody safe at home so we don't have to jump through a whole bunch of airports. And then we're going to keep us safe, but keep the games nice and dangerous. So let's talk about Monkey Business and Absolute Leverage, shall we? These two teams are kind of middle of the pack, 7 and 8 respectively. Absolute Leverage going to be repped by Rodoko, Kinsey, and Wonder Mike. Keep an eye on that last one. And Monkey Business, Aeon, Com, and Stokely. These guys have been interesting. 1 and 2 for the Primates, and a 1 and 3 for Avlev here. Stacks, talk to me a little bit about what you've witnessed so far about either of these teams.
Well, on the Monkey Business side, they came in with such high expectations, and they haven't met them yet. Meanwhile, on the other side, Absolute Leverage, they came in with really no expectations, and they've been playing with house money. So it's been interesting to see how the expectations and what has actually transpired on the fields have related. For Monkey Business, I want to see Calm just go off for a series, because we saw that happen so many times last season. I want to see him just take over a series, tell everybody, give me the ball and get out of the way, and let him just go off for 8 or 9 goals.
Supersonic, I want you to talk to me a little bit about what we can expect out of Absolute Leverage before we jump in.
So Absolute Leverage, we saw a match when they went up against Charlotte Phoenix where they performed phenomenally that week. It was very, very dependent upon how Wonder Mike was doing. It really seems like when Wonder Mike isn't clicking with the rest of the team that things kind of break down a bit for them. I'd like to see some more team play come out of them. I've watched a couple replays over the break there, and it really feels like they're playing a lot of solo game right now. I'm expecting them to start cleaning that up a little bit. They have to be figuring it out by now. We'll see if they can piece it back together.
Awesome. Thank you for setting the table there for us so far. But Supersonic, I must ask you a question. Which team is going to take it? Predictions time.
Man, I was so torn on this. I went back and forth, locked in my answer probably 2-3 different times today. After my last watch through of those replays, though, and just seeing the solo plays kind of fall apart and them not really clicking as a team, I unfortunately have to go against my boy Wonder Mike in absolute leverage. I'm taking monkey business on this one.
All right, Stacks, you heard Super. He's going with monkey business. Where's your heart at?
Honestly, my heart is with absolute leverage and Wonder Mike, because I saw what they did to Charlotte Phoenix, but I gotta go with my brain, and everything upstairs tells me that monkey business has to be the pick here. If for no other reason than I trust the experience of both Calm and Stokely, and then as they add Aeon, as he becomes more and more comfortable within this system, I feel like they had a huge win over 72 PC a couple of weeks ago, and I know a win over them doesn't really carry a whole lot of weight, but the way they won that match, coming back after getting shut out for the first 10 minutes, that says a lot, and I think that now they're ready to get it rolling.
Looks like I'm going to break the pattern. I'm going absolute leverage, and I've got two reasons. One on the side of monkey business. They're 1-2, and both of those losses were games that I thought monkey business were going to be able to take. So I've been kind of, surprised twice now, not a third. And here also, listen, last week, AJ was on Twitter talking nonsense to Wonder Mike, and Wonder Mike brushed it off no problem. I love the way the rookie kind of took it and handled it, but I think underneath the cool, calm exterior, Wonder Mike's going to be out here trying to prove something. I don't even think Wonder Mike is looking at monkey business. I think he's going to be looking at 3 nameless players just trying to score as much as possible, and I think that'll translate to a win. So an interesting look here. I'm the only one going with absolute leverage. I mean, you really think I'm in the wrong here? Super, paint me a picture.
I don't think you're wrong. I was talking with Stacks in between right before this match came up, and I was telling him I'm just so torn. My heart is with absolute leverage. I fell in love with Wonder Mike as a player, and I fell in love with that team in that match against Charlotte Phoenix, but they just haven't been able to piece that together yet. Hopefully they can find their footing here today. I won't be upset if they do. If I'm wrong here and absolute leverage takes it down, all right. I'm okay taking the L on this one either way, but I just think that it's going to be really tough to kind of get this together. They're playing as individuals and not as a team.
Well, it might be tough, but when the going gets tough, we're going to get going. Supersonic and Stacks going to be on the mic. Monkey business and absolute leverage going head to head. It's all yours.
But that's all, folks. So we get into game number 1 here between two teams that absolutely need this win. There's no sugarcoating it here. They're not going to catch Stromboli, but second and third, even second, is very much within reach if you can get some of these other teams to hang around with you at the 2 or 3 win mark near the midway point. So now these two, they can't think too much about the standings. They got to think about the challenge that's in front of them, and they will try to do just that as we are underway. Game 1 of what very well could be 5 if the previous match is any indication. 2 evenly matched teams, as Stokely will try to get the first attack going for monkey business. And it's still hard, even a few weeks into the season, not to call these guys bull send after all the time they spent together last season.
Yeah, Aeon, for me, is that player that I'm looking for. He was a big factor in their win. When he gets going, me and you talked about it a little bit. Aeon wasn't really that all-star through some of those losses they were taking, but he showed up big in that win. So look to see if he can also stay going, keeping the gears turning and that ball moving downfield and in the opponent's half.
This will sky itself up, and it will be Aeon looking for a double, and Wonder Mike is right there to cut him off. Probably two of the biggest names coming into this season on these respective teams, because everybody wanted to see what could Wonder Mike do when he finally made it into the league, and of course all the eyes on Aeon after his RBG team promoted into the RLCS last season, but they left him behind, and well, so far it has not been the redemption arc that Aeon was looking for. Stokely tries to keep this in front. Now Calm will come along, and Kinsey should easily have this away, though he's made a bit of a mess of this, so Stokely will have it with time and space. Little indecisiveness, though, he did not get that midfield boost. Now Stokely. Kinsey easily taken away, but he can't keep possession. That will find Wonder Mike. And one more touch needed to center, but Calm is right there. Stokely didn't burn much boost. Not that he had much to burn. He's on 0, and Kinsey takes advantage.
The aggression here from Absolute Leverage, the call off of Rodoko from Wonder Mike as he makes a quick cut to get up, get that ball off the backboard, drop it out to the other side. Kinsey is there. No third man back, full force, everyone going. That's what worked for them in the Charlotte Phoenix match. I love seeing that here so far from Absolute Leverage.
Stokely falling helplessly at the end of that sequence can't bode well for his confidence. Neither can that miss, as Rodoko almost dribbled right by him. He has been beating himself up a little bit over the slow start for Monkey Business. He's had a tough time getting going. Hasn't been in the stat sheet very often, as Wonder Mike will intercept here. Stokely skies one away, but Kinsey is right up there for it. Has enough to go. Get it, and he gets the double. What a play from Kinsey.
Kinsey with the all-star power here, doing it all himself. Up in the mid, breaks up the pass, self-pass off the wall into the double tap. Beautiful play.
Off the flip, reset, and everything. If we were playing a game of horse, everyone gets a letter. Good grief. Calm against Wonder Mike. Calm has Stokely in midfield. He has to avoid Wonder Mike and can't do anything with the ball. Now Aeon.
Wonder Mike coming in hot there.
Now Calm again with a drive. That's going to be wide. Follow is saved by Mike yet again. And it seems like every time Absolute Leverage has its doubters, Wonder Mike all of a sudden wakes up. And he has one of those series like he did against the Charlotte Phoenix. He's been a huge part of why Monkey Business have not scored anything yet in the first 3.5 minutes. And that ball's going to get by Calm, but Stokely is there to play.
Yeah, almost like a little bit of a chip on his shoulder when Wonder Mike is under a situation where he is not expected to win. Feels like that's when he actually shows up. I like seeing that. Unfortunately, that is a hard mindset to maintain, because when you're hitting well, there's no chip, there's nothing there. That motivation kind of goes away, and you got to find something that can motivate you through the rest of the season so that Wonder Mike can maintain that throughout every match.
Calm can only pop this ball up as Wonder Mike plays it deep into the Monkey Business zone yet again, and more valuable seconds ticking off the clock. And you look at Absolute Leverage on their way downfield. They're not just booming it right back into the Monkey Business zone. It's a clever pass, almost parallel to another defender. Just take more time, make the attackers from Monkey Business take their time, make a decision, make a guess as to what you're doing with the ball. It's throwing them off. And again, tick-tock, tick-tock, time they can't afford to waste. Monkey Business in trouble now. Wonder Mike, no. Kinsey can't get there either. And Wonder Mike will chase down Calm. It will be to no avail. It won't matter. Monkey Business has to score now to give themselves a chance. They will not. And the final few seconds will burn off the clock. And it is all Alev in game one. A gentleman's shutout, if you will.
They're going to concede that last goal, but it means nothing. As Spaceman says, a W is a W and L is an L. W going the way of A-Lev, L going the way of Monkey Business there. Loved what we saw out of Absolute Leverage. You talked about it a little bit on their rotations and how they're controlling the ball. They're not just booming it away. A couple of those rotations where Kinsey's that first guy in, he's making the hit and then waiting for that guy in mid to break it up, and he's staying in the offensive half looking for that quick pass down, which I actually love seeing. It's not something we see a whole ton of here in Rivals, but they're waiting for each other. They're expecting their teammate to see them, and I love it.
Yeah, it is a treat to watch when this team is firing on all cylinders. And you mentioned earlier in the broadcast about Wonder Mike needing to kind of take more of a backseat role. They need to prove that they can win without him carrying the load. And as you see here, Kinsey with the pair of goals, Wonder Mike an assist, 3 saves. That's the kind of game that Absolute Leverage has to prove that they can play to take some of the pressure off of his shoulders, but also to get the other guys going a little bit here. And to see Kinsey have a game like that, that's going to bode very well for them here in week 4.
Yeah, absolutely. I talked about it. When Wonder Mike isn't operating, it feels like the team falls out of sync, and he's there. Rodoko, not a huge game for him there, but he didn't really have a ton to do. Kinsey and Wonder Mike were just everywhere, and Rodoko was still present, though, in these plays. He was on the sidewalls. He was there. He was taking up space on the field. Their spread was well. They were covering a lot of bases, so ball just wasn't coming Rodoko's way. I didn't feel like he was out of the game by any means.
Kinsey had his fingerprints all over that victory for A-Lev. Now what do they have for a follow-up? Wonder Mike almost got that over Stokely, but he did just enough to disrupt the play. And now it will be Kong. Stuck in his own corner, has Stokely almost parallel to him, but right next to him. And again, we've seen this a lot from Monkey Business. Players too eager to get going, and right on cue, it's Rodoko who opens the gates for A-Lev.
First one going the way of A-Lev there from Rodoko. Talked about him not being too involved in that first match, but here in game number 2, he's going to be the first one to put one on the board in the opening 35 seconds of the match.
We talked very briefly about the B-Stream series that Monkey Business had with 72 pin connector, where every game was a shutout. It's actually the first time that's ever happened in a Rival Series match. It's gone all 5 games, with every single game being a shutout one way or the other. And for it to be a reverse sweep makes it even more bizarre. And while, yes, they did score at 0 in game 1, they were effectively shut out. And it's been kind of a theme for this Monkey Business team. Aeon will try to break the scoring drought. He cannot. Rodoko takes out Stokely. And yet again, Monkey Business are denied a goal early in a series.
They continually get shut down here, and minute and a half in so far, you start thinking, is this happening again? Don't want to go for that shutout. Again, I'm with you. They scored that goal at the final moment, but that game was a shutout. It was an all A-Lev, all day. They were the ones in control of that match, and so far here to start off, it's also been exactly that. Aeon, though, getting involved there in the middle. It seems like when they're in the high-flying situations, Monkey Business is doing well. They may want to look to that a bit more, get them a few more balls up into the air and allow them to fly high and just try and carry the ball down the field that way rather than trying to bring it around and off the wall.
To clarify, as Kinsey makes the save there, first time in North American Rival Series. A couple seasons ago, it was Xenamoon and ARG had a similar series. Here's Kinsey, just getting there ahead of Calm. Wonder Mike out to Kinsey, and downfield again with almost surgical precision is Absolute Leverage. They don't get a shot on target, but it will be Wonder Mike. I guess, well, Kinsey technically got a shot. This will be high above the mark as well, and Aeon only floats one just a little bit wide of the center, and Wonder Mike is right there shadowing him the whole time, and finally Wonder Mike's on the board.
Yeah, Wonder Mike going to do a self-pass there, comes up for the aerial, gets a nice little soft touch, drops it down to himself clean, able to knock in that really wide angle there. Those are really hard to defend against. Beautiful play.
Rodoko off the kickoff. First up, just ahead of Stokely. I'm trying to get around Rodoko. He does. But he can't get a shot on. And again, that's been the theme for Monkey Business. It's been one of many that has plagued them throughout the season. Not a lot of passing. The teamwork has been dreadful. You would have thought maybe by the midway point, the experience across this roster would have served them well, but it's just not there. This is towards an open net, and fortunately for Aeon and company, it rolls just wide.
You know, they're there and they're going up in the air to block that ball, making a late second touch, but it's almost to detriment. You're kind of catching the other team off guard, but you caught your teammates and completely stopped the rotation. Everybody on Monkey Business basically came to a complete halt when that second touch happened. If you freeze everybody on the field, you're not doing yourself any favors.
Aeon with Wonder Mike bearing down on him does clear the ball out around the corner. But it will be Wonder Mike to drop it right back in. That misses Stokely. Tom will just throw another one towards the target, and Aeon can't follow because Kinsey got there first. Wonder Mike and Rodoko both went for this ball, but nobody there to take advantage for Monkey Business. And yet again, they're up 2 very, very late in the game. Stokely tried to break the shutout, and he does, threading the needle.
Yeah, another goal once again, same way they went down at the very end of the last match, just barely squeaking that one in there on the top shelf is Stokely. This time though, they have a little more time on the clock to work with. A little bit of chance to have an opportunity here to get back in, possibly take this to overtime or even outscore, but it still feels like the rhythm is going the way of Absolute Leverage.
It took them 10 minutes and 18 seconds to score a goal of any consequence against 72 PC. It took them 9 minutes and 15 to finally get one that matters here tonight. They got 20 seconds to get one more. Aeon chasing after this ball. He will not win the challenge against Kinsey. Wonder Mike dumps one to the corner again. Calm, taking his time, picked his spot, floated over to defenders who both missed. Stokely coming on, cannot beat Kinsey there. Aeon back to Calm, over to Stokely. The pass not on the mark, and another 1-goal victory for Absolute Leverage.
Doesn't matter if it's one goal or 7-goal difference. You just got to take them down. Alev doing just enough here to get it taken care of. They're winning on the solo plays right now. Again, I talked about I wanted to see them as a team start focusing a bit more on some of these passing plays, quick passes, maybe some 1-2-3 plays. But the 1v1 power of Wonder Mike and Rodoko to get those 2 goals into the net, and then there's the defensive presence of the whole team, able to keep that one together and take down game number 2.
You're seeing the teamwork start to form for Monkey Business, but you wonder if it's starting to be too little too late. They do have a reverse sweep to their credit. It looked like things are coming together. That was a pretty clever pass getting across at the very end, but it was too hot for Stokely to catch up to. Don't think they really called it out for him, so he couldn't read and react. And now for Absolute Leverage, you got a couple of games to play with, but they can't fall into the same trap that 72 PC did against these guys. 2 is easy. 3 is the tough one to get.
Yeah, 3 is definitely the tough one to get. This is the one where you're feeling good as Absolute Leverage. You start getting comfortable and things fall apart. And like I said, Wonder Mike is somebody that when he feels like he's up against insurmountable odds or there's a chip on his shoulder, he seems to play better. And that's what we saw in the Charlotte Phoenix match. He needs to maintain that here and just at least stay present in the match to keep his team going. He feels like maybe I can't hear the comms, but he feels kind of like that emotional player that's going to have everything going or keep that emotion up for the team.
Almost clear the runway for Stokely, but he is stopped right at the last moment. And that is how Game 3 gets underway. It's a must-win for Monkey Business as they try for their 2nd reverse sweep of the season. Twice in as many matches. This will be thrown to midfield. Stokely challenging Rodoko, trying to get in the way of Kinsey. Now Calm will take over. Rodoko read it the whole way. Swats that ball to the corner. Now Aeon will try tough angles. Stokely can't read and react. and Kinsey, he will whiff. Boy, a lot of improv going on here between these two teams, as nobody has a feel for what the other is going to do or is capable of doing. As Calm and Stokely crisscross, they almost got a pinch towards the net, but now it's going back downfield for Alev.
Felt like a lot of greedy plays there from Monkey Business on their end, and I think that's probably what caused the confusion on Alev's side. They're able to kind of piece it together, figure it out, and stave off the attack, but everybody was just attacking there, and then almost got caught in a quick transitional situation where they were going to be off guard as they had to get back with 0 boost to get a save.
Aeon could not find Calm with that initial effort, but he certainly did this time, and Stokely there on the doorstep after the narrow miss by Calm.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Calm was going for the shot here, but just off of defender number 5 on that crossbar out to Stokely. Easy cleanup shot as the defender goes skirting across the goal line.
Well, this is the kind of series that Stokely's going to need sooner rather than later, but this time Wanda Mike is there, similarly playing janitor, and we've got a tied game 3.
Kinsey with a great challenge there, wins it, dead stops that ball. I don't know if Wanda Mike's ever had an easier tee up in his life.
Oh, Wanda Mike's certainly involved in game 3 for absolute leverage. And not a moment too soon, as this will head over towards Kinsey. He got the midfield boost, but not the ball. Rodoko will take that. And he'll challenge, try to play this right through Aeon. Wanda Mike. He got neither the midfield boost nor the ball initially. That allowed Aeon to take that mid boost, so keep that in mind as he climbs the ladder here. Rather, it's Calm. This is Aeon looking for Stokely. He's going to find him, but a rather weak shot, easily dealt with by Kinsey.
Bit of a strange thing, kind of probably plays into the weird rotations that we're seeing and kind of jumps and cuts that these guys are doing, but nobody's really stealing any boost from each other on the opponent's end. It just seems like they're either taking shots from the midfield and immediately coming back, but the boost is just never there for them. Overall, though, in the middle of the field, that win is going the way of Alev, which may indicate why they're a little bit more present out there.
This ball will find Stokely as he just wins that challenge ahead of Kinsey. But now Rodoko playing one through Calm, needs one more touch, but Aeon's there to make sure he doesn't get it. Now Kinsey throwing one at the net, hoping good things happen. Nothing does. Aeon, time for ball and boost as he gets over Wanda Mike. Calm, we know he can score from any angle, but not this time, as Kinsey will roll one out. It is 2-on-1, make it 3-on-2 the other way, and Kinsey will roll it home behind Stokely.
You always got to be... You know the guy's panicking as soon as you see him starting to reverse. Stokely trying to get back as he sees that one coming out just wide of him, not able to get the touch on it, and Kinsey able to sneak it just underneath him on that right side.
Give you an idea of how those comms went. I got his touch? No, wait, no I don't. Here's Calm. Blocked by Wanda Mike. Stokely over to Aeon. They need more goals. Do Monkey Business. They find themselves trailing by the same scoreline they've lost the first 2 games by. Calm took out the defender. This shot's got to be on target. No, follow-up is from Stokely. I think this went off of a blue car on the way through. We'll get a better look here.
It's off Kinsey. Kinsey's in there trying to get aggressive with Calm. Doesn't have the speed coming out of that because he was dead stopped in that battle and ends up behind the ball rather than in front of it. Knocks it into his own net. You hate to see it. Unless you're Monkey Business.
Right. Well, you know who doesn't hate to see it is Aeon, who picks up his 8th assist of the season, only his first assist of this series. Granted, there have only been a small number of goals. So bear that in mind as we carry on through the final minute. It'll be Wanda Mike trying to go over top of Calm. Aeon took out Rodoko, nudged him into the side, so that takes him out of the play for a moment. Didn't take him off the field, though. Wanda Mike had 2 shots at it, but could not get either inside the frame.
God, the Wonder Mike is everywhere right now. He had about 8 different touches there. Defensively, he came in, made a touch. His teammate got demoed, picked that ball up, took it all the way down. What a 1v2, brought it across the sidewall, had 2 really wide-angle shots. Unfortunately, not able to do it, but he is just everywhere right now. He is all over the field, and that ball is his.
Bomb underneath Wonder Mike. 2-on-2 the other way, and Kinsey make sure nothing happens out of the corner, so Stokely's got to sprint back. In trouble yet again, but Stokely recovers this time, and he blocks the shot. Now Stokely looking to play hero at the end of regulation, and Wonder Mike makes the save. We are headed for overtime unless they don't keep this in the air. Then there you go. So overtime in game 3. All 3 games are going to be 1-goal games, Super.
They're going to be one-goal games, like we said. Hey, a win's a win. All you need is that 1 goal. And it's going to go that way 3 in a row.
I can confirm the stat that Spaceman brought up in the previous match. Yes, the first team to score in overtime wins 100% of the time. It could be monkey business this time, but Kinsey makes the save.
Ooh. I love these touches.
This is trouble.
Coming out of Alev. The control from them has been great so far. They're not doing these booming clears. Again, Kinsey could have easily boomed that one down and put it off the backboard, but they choose to keep control of the pitch and control of the ball. And it's working out for them.
Stokely now trying to center, but nobody there. Com was not in position. And now here's Rodoko. Stokely's going to have a tough time getting back for this, and he can't. Kinsey wins it in OT.
I wanted team plays. It's what I asked for from Alev. They've made my heart full. That's what they did. Right on the nose of Kinsey, and just able to power that one in. A fastball, 75 miles per hour. Beautifully placed pass from Rodoko as the 3rd man to recognize that that ball was all his. Wasn't afraid to come out and challenge it and leave the open net. Beautiful play.
It had to be that spot at that speed. Otherwise, Stokely would have got there. A 70-mile-an-hour shot, that's getting saved. But 75 is the magic number, and Absolute Leverage gets the 3-0 sweep over Monkey Business. And that means, I mean, you know what we're going to have to listen to, right, Super? We're going to listen to FDOT in just about 5 minutes. Come back and tell us why he is the supreme ruler of all predictions. My thoughts exactly.
I wish you wouldn't have reminded me. I would have rather just had to experience that live, but now I have to dread the moment that he comes back. I appreciate you for that.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got a match coming up that it's going to be real tough to blow this prediction, because our final match of Week 4 in North America pits Mirage against Stromboli, the surprise of the entire rival series. They take the field coming up next.
Another week, or will be not. That's while it's hot.
I don't know why I let you, but you had to light a spark in me. Lost control, falling over, getting pulled in by your gravity. Thought that I had figured it out, never felt it rationally, but this sense of urgency has me wondering. Thought that I had figured it out, nothing could get through to me, but this kind of chemistry has me wondering. When you're not around it, all goes black and white. How come I'm not seeing in color? Lost without you, I can't make it through the night. How come I'm not seeing in color? How come I'm not seeing in So far gone, I'm caught up, infatuated by our symmetry. It feels like before now, I was only half of me. Thought that I had figured it out, never felt it rationally, but this sense of urgency has me wondering. Thought that I had figured it out, nothing could get through to me, but this kind of chemistry has me wondering. When you're not around it, all goes black and white. How come I'm not seeing in color? Lost without you, I can't make it through the night. How come I'm not seeing in color? How come I'm not seeing in color? So far gone. Feel my arms holding on so tight, just when you need it most. Feel the freedom of being careless, just being in love. Everything will be alright. Through the darkness, through the night, no fear anymore. No fear anymore. No fear anymore.
Absolute leverage, baby. And to quote one of my favorite commentators, absolute destruction. That's what happened to my co-commentators when they were all wrong. Shout out to Stacks and Supersonic, baby. Honestly, as I take my tone down a little bit, let's be real here. Wonder Mike did what we wanted him to do. He was crazy and he was doing it, but he took a step back, allowed some of his teammates to work it out. Like I said, man, I got faith in it. and Absolute Leverage take the win. Stacks, I know you don't want to talk to me, but you got to do it.
Well, I don't have to talk to you. I can just talk to the tens of thousands of viewers out there, and I can tell you that Wonder Mike was phenomenal, but so too was, we don't talk enough about Rodoko because he didn't rack up a ton of goals and assists, but every time it looked like Monkey Business was going to get anything going on the offensive end, they could not because Rodoko got in the way, or Kinsei came and spoiled things, turned it into a counterattack and more sustained offense on the other side. This was as good a team effort as we have seen in the North American Rival Series, and Alev deserves a ton of credit for that.
It's been an interesting week. Earlier today, we got to see Jacob kind of finally stand up. And Rodoko was a player that I was watching earlier in the season. And today he kind of finally stood up. It feels like players are 4 weeks in, getting comfortable with their teams and their teammates and really figuring out how to get there. Supersonic, talk to me. What did you see here? How did Absolute Leverage bring home the win? Or was it Monkey Business dropping the ball?
I don't think Monkey Business played a terrible match. I think Absolute Leverage was just operating as a team. It's what we talked about. We wanted to see team play out of them. That's what we got. And as Stack said, Rodoko, I think, was much more of a factor than people realize. He may not have had huge stat lines, but he was always present in the right spot. He made sure that they had the spread on the field, and he was taking away giant open pockets. He didn't allow huge amounts of space to be available to Monkey Business to work with, and that cannot be understated or overstated. I'm confusing myself right now with words that I don't understand. But he did it so well that he just kind of locked up the field, and he made sure that they stayed present. And then when you have Wonder Mike, like we said, that at that one moment, he had like 8 different touches, came through, made a block. His teammate got demoed. He immediately reacted with a quick hop off of the back wall to get out, block the ball again, took it down, won a 1v2, didn't get the goal out of it, had 2 shot attempts though. He just makes sure that the pressure is maintained. And if you can keep pressure like that going, you will break defenses down.
It's exactly what happened to Monkey Business. They get broken down, and Absolute Leverage find their second victory of the season. That's the end of match number 3. Looking into match number 4, we see Stromboli versus Mirage. What kind of name is Stromboli? Well, what's in a name? Because all they've got is gains, baby. J-Pow, Alraz, and Heck will be taking the field today. Mirage, repped by Luke, Freshness, and J-Russ. We know Stromboli are undefeated. We know Stromboli have that 4-man lineup. Let's talk Mirage. And I'm looking at you, Supersonic. Luke, Freshness, and J-Russ. These guys are 2-2. They're number 5. This is quite literally the team in the middle. How's Malcolm going to play today?
Man, so Mirage has one thing, one stat that I do like, because I like talking about team play a lot. I like seeing team play a lot, and 80% of their goals come from assists. So if they can maintain that, get some infield passing, quick transitions, they're going to have a chance. Again, they are going up against Stromboli, who is the beast of this NA or EU side. I don't care which side we're looking at. They are the monster in the RLRS here this season. But if they can get that going, and if J-Russ can have a big day, it really feels like it might be a battle of J-Russ versus J-Pow. Both of these guys are the players for their teams, or a lot of the time they are that player in a game. So I'm going to be looking to J-Russ to have a big day if they're going to stand a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance. We'll see how much of that chance they've got. Prediction time, baby. You set the table very nicely. Are you going to put your money on Mirage?
No. I'm going to put my money on Stromboli. J-Pow's presence in midfield and his defensive power, while also being off. He is the guy that's everywhere. He has offense. He has the midfield cuts to break things up and set plays up. He's there defensively. And if he's not there, Alraz is there. And if he's not there, guess what? Heck hasn't played as many games as them, and he's averaging higher saves. And a lot of his stats are right in line to possibly beat them since he came in after Andy. That lineup of the 3 of them are all all-stars, and I think it's going to be, I don't like saying this, and this is not shade at all, as you said earlier, but I think this one's going to be a stomping from Stromboli that we've seen them doing to everybody else as they come through this through the league play week after week.
All right, Stacks. Are we going to see a nuke from Mirage?
No, I don't. Well, I don't think we're going to see Stromboli stomp Mirage because these players are all very well familiar with each other. These are players that have been grinding for so long to get their chance. Freshness, he's had his chances in the rival series. We mentioned it, I think, last week. He's had 6 different teammates now in his 3 trips into the rival series. But what I find truly amazing is that it's 2020. We got a Malcolm in the Middle reference out of you. I got Stromboli in this match, but I don't think it's going to be the stomp that Supersonic thinks it will be.
I've got a longer memory than Frankie Nunez. It'll be tough, man. It'll be tough. It'll be tough for sure. I am not going to break this at all. I voted Stromboli as well. It ain't easy being cheesy. And I think these guys are sitting up on top. I don't expect them to get knocked down. I expect them to do the burninating against Mirage. So it's going to be an interesting look for sure. We've all voted for Stromboli. Real quick, out of both of you guys, I'm going to ask Stacks first. What is the key to the game for Mirage to make this win for real?
Luke's got to get out of his own head. He has had a couple of series where he has really struggled. He's gotten very, very few touches on the ball. He's felt like he's been out of place, that he has been very unhappy with his play. He's got to go all out of his head now. This is the match to focus on.
Supersonic, you agree? Or is there something else that Mirage has to do?
I agree with that. The thing that's going to stand out, though, is can they stand up on the defensive end? And when they do, we've seen other teams stand up to them and get defensive stops, but can you clear the ball effectively, or can you get passes out of those defensive stands? It takes more than just being able to stop the shots. You have to be able to transition those into some sort of play.
I agree. What I want to see out of Mirage here is do what we saw out of Absolute Leverage. Rodoko was a big deal. Think about the ball. Think about the players being kind of surrounded by this bubble. And as you move up, you force the opponents into a different position. Rodoko doesn't wind up with a bunch of stuff on his slash line and in his stat card, but his ability to rotate throughout the field, force the opponent to counter-rotate, and that allows some open shots there, and that's how Absolute Leverage kind of found the win. That's what I need to see out of Mirage. We know that Stromboli are going to be playing a high-octane offensive game. And so for Mirage to be able to take control of that and look defensive, we got to see them push their opponents out of the way. Otherwise, they're just going to be standing there kind of waiting for shots on goal. So Stromboli here standing 5-0. They're trying to get to 6-0. I mean, it's going to be a tough task here. Will they miss Andy at all? We talked a little bit about how Heck has kind of come in and out. Supersonic, Andy, what's your thoughts?
I love that they call themselves a 4-man lineup, and I think that Andy is right up there with them and that he's a great player. I'm still on the side of I don't buy into a 4-man roster until you drop somebody else off and I see Andy play again. And I went into Alraz's stream and asked him if I was going to see Andy again this season, and he seemed shaky on whether I would get to see him or not. So I'm going to take the 4-man roster name away until I get to see him play again. But Heck has definitely, it's hard to swap the guys out when Heck is operating at the level that he is. When he showed up, he's doing everything he needs to do, and there's no reason to change the lineup when you're operating at this level.
I got to agree there, man. So far, it's kind of set up in Stromboli's favor, but we always root for an underdog. So woof, woof. Let's get into it. Super and Stacks, take it away.
You know what I'm looking forward to after this match? I want to see the Hogan's Heroes reference that old man F. makes after this. So as we get out of the Wayback Machine and get back into 2020, we look at what Stromboli brings to the table. It is a 15-3 individual games record. Boy, you can't start much better than they have. Mirage has a lot on their plate as they try to spring the upset to close out week 4.
Right here, early off the kickoff, Heck gonna try and come out and make something out of it. Again, these guys are playing so well. It's really hard to try and get behind anybody. I find it hard to give credit elsewhere. It just seems like it's such an insurmountable task to try and take these guys down. And already with the press, open net, the offensive pressure, and where it comes in, and this is what Stromboli does so well, is this quick transitional play from defense to offense to the net. Under 3 seconds down the field, the ball's in your net. You cannot have your third man overcommit like that.
Now, I've got some good news for Cloud9 fans. These guys are going number 1 in the league. You won't see them in a few months the way this is going. They are off and running. J-Pow looking for Alraz. They're going to score again, aren't they? No, he does not get the double. And now back the other way. Here comes Mirage, but J-Pow is going to collect that along the just in front of the goal line. And it was a scary moment there for Stromboli, but as they so often do, they deal with it rather swiftly. And now they can set up and defend this attack from Mirage.
It seems to me the biggest thing, and I said this last week or 2 weeks ago, I definitely said it on Twitter, that the comms, I think, are the biggest difference maker here between Stromboli and where other teams are. They very rarely double commit. As I'm saying this, of course, they crash right into each other because I can never make a point without somebody doing something to make me look wrong. But their comms and the way that they play is the most reminiscent of any team we've seen in Rivals this season to an RLCS caliber team.
Alraz, good first touch to get that away from J-Russ. Slowed things down just enough. Bought his teammates time to get back, not trying to do too much of anything. Alraz got a demo, Heck got a shot, and J-Russ makes the save. J-Pow is waiting for Alraz to center, but he cannot get there. So Luke will take this downfield. Luke, kind of the X factor for this Mirage team. Thought about going after J-Pow, couldn't get him, so he'll take some boost and rotate out of the play.
Now, Mirage has actually slowed down just a little bit. They overcommitted there early offensively. They felt a little strong, maybe a little stronger than they should have, but they have slowed it down a bit, and they're starting to get some possessions, but there's a little bit too much of a slowdown. There was no need for that second touch. Ended up faking out his teammate. As long as they can do this and they keep getting a guy back there on defense to not allow open net opportunities, they should be all right. Close one coming off defender number 5. Luckily, a little bit of backup there from the crossbar.
Well, now here's J-Russ trying to take advantage of their new life, and a save from halfway across the line made by Heck. And now Heck gets knocked out of the way for his troubles by Luke. J-Russ trying to get a piece of J-Pow, and now it'll be Freshness. Only so far as Alraz. But J-Russ can play this back in because he took out J-Pow. Those two have been right at each other from the opening kickoff. Now Freshness for Luke. He picked his spot, and Heck ranges over to make the save. J-Pow throws one across. J-Russ was reading him the whole way, but he got some help from Alraz.
Those quick pass plays are the things that Stromboli needs to keep an eye on. Like I said at the beginning of the series, or before the series started, 80% of these of the goals from Mirage come way of assists. They are a team that plays for assist style in passing plays. They're not going to do a ton of individual, just flashy shots. They're looking to get the camera, doing weird things, and fake out their opponents. Stromboli so far, though, has been able to stave off any shots from the likes of Mirage.
Freshness now blocked by Alraz, as again, yet another even attempt at getting set up has been turned aside by Stromboli. It's not the worst team name we've had in Rocket League. Atelier would have something to say about that. Here's J-Pow. Of course, it doesn't matter how
Are you trying to tell me it's not
ugly
the best?
name doesn't matter how ugly the name is. When you're 5-0, you get to call yourself whatever you want. They could be calling themselves an RLCS team in a few months' time. J-Pow now will take over, try to kill off some more clock, add an insurance goal. That'd be nice, but that's going to go all the way across. The second, maybe third touch that he didn't intend. J-Russ leaves this for Freshness, and Alraz intercepts, throwing another one off to the side. Mirage hasn't had many opportunities, Super, but they're starting to get a little closer to that net.
They are. They have been slowly inching their way up and starting to make some things happen. I like what I'm seeing so far. They're most likely going down here. I don't see a goal coming here in these final 3 seconds, but they're holding off Stromboli. They kept him to 1 goal. Total number of shots, they're actually winning in shot differential right now. Unfortunately, the accuracy just isn't there. Couple off of the crossbar, couple wide off the post. Quite a few saves from Stromboli. I talked about the defense of Stromboli, and it is just a fortress to try and get through that thing.
They get outshot 12-5, but it is a win for Stromboli. And again, it does not matter how you get there, just that you get the dub. You see the 5 saves and 3 shots. We've seen a lot of stat lines like that between Europe and North America today. That ends up on top of the leaderboard, as well it should when you have that many saves. Very similar, though, to the way Carrion was playing in the Solari match earlier this afternoon.
100% agree with you there. The stat lines have been a bit kind of odd in that sense that we're seeing these matches where there's a ton of shots, but one team's defense is just holding down the fort. All men are there, and they are just blocking everything. Stromboli does that week in and week out, and you're seeing it hold strong here again. They didn't need a ton of possession. They didn't need a ton of shots on goal. They get the one, and then they're very comfortable with just trying to take control of the ball and holding it down and just eating time off the clock. They're playing to win. They're playing the game at a different level where they're fine with just maintaining possession and eating time, and that's something that I'd like to see out of more teams.
We'll see how much more of that you do get as we get into game number 2. It'll be J-Pow starting it off with Alraz, and J. Russ will pop this away with Pow just breathing down his neck. Now J. Russ against Alraz, he'll just opt for the boost. Luke stuffs Alraz right there on the side. Here comes Joe Freshness. Can't get this around in front. It will find Luke, and J-Pow easily sends that away, giving Heck time to respawn. Now it's Freshness. J-Pow takes that away. Heck right down the middle. No, it's going to sail wide. And Luke got to that corner boost. He can streak downfield, try to wreak just a little bit of havoc, but instead opts to rush back right down Main Street as his team goes downfield without him. Now Luke is there at midfield. J. Russ is going to have to collect this and send it away yet again. First minute's gone by. It has been mostly Stromboli, but nobody's had that quality look at the net that we're so used to seeing Stromboli get very early on in games.
Yeah, typically they get this look at the net where they force an opening at some point. Their offense comes in hot and heavy, and they force that defense to play at their speed, and they do it in quick bursts and then revert back to that slow play, regather their thoughts, and then they make a quick attack again, where a lot of teams get lost in that relentless pursuit for the goal, and they never get out of that rotation. They get stuck in the offensive half. It's something that Stromboli does really well. They go in, they make 3-4 passes at the net, and they get out of dodge, reset, try and get the defense to come out of the net, and then attack again.
J-Pow loses control of his car and the ball, so now it's a chance for Mirage if they can get onto this at midfield, but instead, Heck will take over. He'll go to the ceiling, and that save made by J. Russ. That had a lot of pace coming from the ceiling as well.
You can tell he wants that shot. That's the second or third time he's gone for exactly that. He keeps making that really tough, quick transition shot off the ceiling. Hasn't gotten to send one home that way yet, but if he keeps going like that, eventually one's getting in there.
Freshness, one touch, went for boost, and as a result, J-Pow was able to stop him. So J. Russ will take over. He'll try to get Mirage downfield and in business. Starting the second half strong? No. Heck has this ball away. Freshness didn't clear the zone, but he found a teammate in J. Russ. That's going to get around J-Pow. Freshness now trying to get around Alraz. Opted to go with the slow play. And J-Pow and Heck a little miscommunication as they do get out of the zone. Now they'll try to score, but they're shut down by Russ.
Heck, so quick to get up for these balls and try and maintain possession there. Unable to do so in that double commit where they did run into each other. That is a rare miscommunication. They have it happen maybe once, maybe twice in a match, but once or twice isn't that bad. Shot on net. Alvarez not able to get a piece of it. Freshness off the back wall. Scramble from Stromboli in a rare situation, but they're gonna make them pay for it as they take a shot on net. Heck, not able to get it in.
Oh, I wonder what happened to J-Russ there. It looked like he just spun himself out coming down midfield. I don't think he got hit by anybody. And then Heck missing on an open net on the other side. He did have to rush the shot a little bit. Let that be a lesson, kids.
Oh.
Never give up on a play. And Luke's going to score one here, and it's a lapper as it just floats right through a seeing eye goal, basically.
Yeah, just a quick miss there. Rare situation for Stromboli. Slow ball, not sure if he was expecting a faster hit. Maybe it was off speed, but not able to get a piece of that. And for the first time here, Mirage going to have the lead in the series.
Downfield again as Mirage have their first goal and first lead of this series. It comes very late in game 2. Heck will yield to J Pow. And very quickly, I mean, he was back getting boost not too long ago, already up on the weak side trying to help out on the attack. That is the speed at which Stromboli moves. They always seem to have the boost to stay supersonic up and down the field.
Yeah, and it's what we saw from Absolute Leverage in the previous match where we talked about Kinsey being there after he makes an attempt. He's already there. Hey, you see me, give me the ball. I'm still here. I've got another attempt at this. And they make those pass plays. And that's something that we don't see a ton of in the NA side of the play on the Rivals series. And there's only a few teams on the EU side that are making use of plays like that.
Luke trying to stall for a little bit of time, so too is Freshness. As Luke rushes all the way back. He's going to cut about 3/4 back and come up to help out. Could play this. No. Instead opted to play very conservatively with the 1-goal lead and the final 10-second countdown going. Alraz does keep this in the air, but there's nobody nearby. Mirage have taken a game off Stromboli. They've done what teams have only been able to do 3 times to these guys. Hand them an L.
That is going to be the 4th one of the season so far for them. So right now that put them at 16-4, still a great stat line. But this team could potentially force this to a game 5, which isn't something that Stromboli has really seen a lot of. I think it's only happened once, which was against RBG. In a game 5 situation, I think Mirage is a bit stronger of a squad so far this season. We might actually get one that goes down to the finish line here.
Yeah, so far this has been exactly what Mirage needs to do. They have played a very defensive, grindy series. Stromboli, twice in a row, they've only gotten 5 looks on target, and as a result, they only have 1 goal to show for it in 10 minutes. Mirage, I think they want to play this kind of rock fight here and just, hey, whoever gets the last look at it in game 5 is going to take the series.
Yeah, we're seeing a couple weird situations from Stromboli. We saw them in situations where they were scrambling, things that we're not used to seeing out of these guys, and they're getting stuck on that back foot in a situation where they've triple committed on the ball, and they almost turned that one into a goal. Unfortunately, Heck got forced into having to rush the shot. He couldn't keep perfect control over the ball down the field. Had that gone their way, it may have been a different story for that match. We'll see if they can get things back together, regroup, and clean up the comms a little bit, get back in form.
So a tie-breaking game 3.
Oh.
And it's going the way of J-Russ and Mirage. Maybe it is their night.
Is this the upset? Are we going to be proved wrong here? Block from his teammate, but nobody there to clean that dead ball up, able to get his hands back on it, and the first one going to go the way of Mirage and J-Russ.
You know, so many teams, you know what happens there? The ball just skitters out towards midfield, and it turns into a goal the other way. This time, it ended up in the back of the Stromboli net. And Mirage have an early lead this time, but they have a long time to hold on to it. That's going to pop up and out. J-Russ picked his spot. J-Pow saw it coming. Now Freshness, blocked by Alraz. And Stromboli, for all the offensive firepower we have talked about with this team, they lead the league in total goals per game, just about every offensive category. They have not had much here. Again, only 1 goal from now 11 shots in 12 minutes.
A lot of these issues right now, I think, on the Stromboli side are actually the fault of Heck at the moment. He's been involved in a lot of these team collisions. He's been the one kind of running into J-Pow. He's had 2 hits so far this game on Alraz, and he needs to kind of get out of his teammates' heads and get back into that rotation. It feels like he's falling out.
Get bumps, get boost, get ball. That is the mantra right now for Mirage, and they are doing all 3. J-Russ can't quite get onto this ball. Does get to the ceiling, but Heck is there, and he was just bracketed the whole way. Well done by the defense of Stromboli, but again, they haven't turned it into offense. Freshness, gonna float one downfield. Luke is already up for it, so too is Alraz. Heck with a backflip, could spell trouble. J-Pow in a tough spot, but he does control that ball well on the corner.
It feels like what you need to do when you face Stromboli is get up in the air early, and get these battles at the midfield, where typically Stromboli's just the first one up. Mirage has been great so far this series about getting up there and at least contesting them and just ending up with dead ball in the center, not letting them bring it across the line. This might be the formula when you go up against Stromboli, and hopefully some of these other teams are taking note.
That could be a problem for Mirage. They're playing a little out of their comfort zone as they go to the sky. No team has spent less time per game up in the air, talking like near the ceiling, than Mirage over the course of the season. Here's J-Russ with 2 minutes left as they nurse yet another 1-goal lead. So far, a pair of 1-0 wins. One for either side. Could have an offensive explosion here if anybody can add yet another, but it does not happen. Now Luke gonna take his time, and he gets knocked into next week by J-Pow. 3-on-2 the other way, but that pass just too slow, and the defense of Mirage able to catch up to it.
I know you say that they're the team that's getting, ooh, J-Pow with a shot from the corner, gonna be able to get this one in, ties it up 1-1. Actually, Alrez down to J-Pow. I'm sorry, off the back as J-Pow goes for the bump. Either way, that one was going in. It's kind of stolen there by J-Pow. But Mirage has been up there this game. You just talked about how they've been a team that's kind of been the most grounded. I would say that they've been in the air just as much as Stromboli through this series.
Yeah, they are playing out of their comfort level. That shot's going to be just wide. One that I'm sure he'd love to have back, but you only get one chance at it. You got to try to earn it yet again. But you saw in that sequence another save there made by Luke. Big confidence building game for him too, as he's been outstanding in this series. For Mirage, their strategy of controlling the boost and playing more physically, it got thrown back in their face. You saw as J-Pow got the bump, leading to that equalizer. Now Alraz going way up top over Luke, and J-Russ will play it only as far as J-Pow. Now Luke, off to the corner, needs one more touch, won't get it. He ran out of gas, and he'll pick up some right behind Heck. Luke gonna take his time, did not go for the midfield boost, didn't need it, he can steal some here. Looking to center, and the timing thrown off just a little bit. Freshness was ready to run onto one. The pass never came. Now Luke trying to snipe the corner, but no power means Heck can make the save. Looks like we're headed to overtime. J-Russ has other plans. His teammates don't necessarily agree. Freshness was all the way back. So too is Luke. That's dangerous as it found Heck, but fell off his car.
Yeah, Heck trying to control that one and create an opportunity at that 0-second marker, unable to do so. Luke coming in with some heat, and J-Russ, third man Freshness, going to come up and commit, and Heck going to bang that one out into the midfield.
You could see he was caught between, do I try to hand this off or go for the demo? And I think he might have even slowed his teammate up with that split second of indecisiveness. It's so minute and easy to overlook. Heck, trying to get a piece of Joe Freshness, and he does not. And Alvarez, I'm sure Freshness had to be watching that like, really?
Yeah, that's one of those ones. Heck comes flying by, and you're just like, "Are you okay, dude? You all right, man? Like, seems a little weird. That's a little awkward."
Check with the admin, like, is he still connected? All right, here's Luke. Taken away by J-Pow. Luke, again, he has been up a lot more in this series, but right now it is Freshness and J-Russ. Neither can find the target. Luke will drop one down, looking for J-Russ, and again sent away by the defense of Stromboli. Mirage battling the 5-0, one of two undefeated North American teams, them and the Idle Omni Nation. They are battling them to overtime in game 3. Man, what a battle this has been.
And it's been an air battle. And that stat you brought up was one that I didn't know off the top of my head, which has made this such a more interesting match for me to watch, because they are playing at the height and at the level that Stromboli does, where we're typically used to just watching them outfly everyone. They are getting up there in the midfield, and they are getting stops and creating themselves opportunities. Defense of both these teams are impressive as they hold up against attack after attack.
J-Pow, George Heck, but not making contact. And maybe Stromboli just starting to crack a little bit here. Maybe a little bit of mental fatigue. I mean, it is hard to dominate a league for as long as they have so far. Luke tried to get a ceiling pinch. That didn't work out. But J-Russ takes over. One more touch, trying to get around Heck. Freshness avoided the demo, and a more desperation pass than anything else. Here is Luke to take over in midfield. He's got an option in J-Russ. Gonna call his own number, but that's set away by J-Pow. And with J-Russ going up, that was ill-advised, because look what happens on the other side.
When you triple commit, Stromboli is so good in these transitional goals. They're just going to pound it out into the midfield. Somebody is always there to pick that up and take that one home. Heck is there. They take that down. I am thoroughly impressed, though, still with Mirage. It almost seems like they came into this game with the like, hey, we're going to mind game these guys. We're going to use their strategy that they've been using all season against everybody else against them and see how they react. And it is keeping them in the series. They are out shooting them once again, 14-9. They're putting more pressure out. Unfortunately, as you said, they're playing outside their comfort zone. This isn't their normal play style, so the accuracy of these shots are going down. If they can get that accuracy up here in this next match, we might have a game 5 on our hands.
We very well could. The way that Mirage has approached this series, it has been a treat to watch, as they have shown absolutely no fear, and we expected that they wouldn't. Again, we talked about earlier, they're very familiar with each other. They have faced off quite a bit in not just this past offseason, but in the months and in some cases years leading up to them finally getting their chance here in the rival series. But now it's put up or shut up time. They've fought, they've scratched and clawed their way to this point, 2-1, a trio of 1-goal victories. Now they've got to get over the hump and force game 5.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to have to get in there. And I think that the key here is somebody you were talking about that needed to show up today, and that's Luke. We need Luke a bit more involved. He's not getting a lot of touches, not a lot of looks, but he's not quite doing what Rodoko was doing, where he was kind of shutting down those open sections of the field. He's trying to stay in there because they are playing outside of their comfort zone, and they are leaving holes in the backfield, which Stromboli is taking advantage of when they get it. The majority of the goals for Stromboli so far this series coming from situations where they have overcommitted and they just make a really quick transitional goal down the field.
Joe Freshness in that last game, he was top of the leaderboard for his team, but not many shots. He did have 6 saves. Freshness, that's been his role throughout the past few seasons of Rival Series. Low man on the totem pole on a team that only scored 1.6 goals per game last season. They've got to get him going on the offensive end as well, as he is the only player, actually one of 2, him and Alraz, who have not scored in this series. He is nowhere near the offensive picture right now for this Mirage team. Now he finally comes up, trying to bully his way through. Got this ball floated up in front. Luke is there. J. Russ will try. Double top on the way, and he scores!
A complete breakdown here on the Stromboli side. Once again, triple committed on the side. They all stop. J-Pow gets out of there. Heck and Alraz both stay in. They leave him isolated as he rotates into the goal. And a nice shot coming off the back wall to himself from J. Russ gets it done.
J. Russ upstairs. Did he get the reset? He did, but Heck is there for the stop. Follow up Joe Freshness to Luke, and he slips it right under J-Pow. 2-0.
Great shot here. Luke getting involved. We wanted him involved. There it is, right down the middle. He's coming in hot. Gets that pass. Has a little too hot almost. Has to pull off a little bit, give it a nice soft touch, get it underneath, but able to get that one down and in the net.
And don't look now, but all of a sudden the most points in this series, goals and assists, belongs to Luke. 2 goals, 1 helper. And he is downfield waiting for J-Russ, who does get the ball over to him. Skying one up, Alraz should have that easily off to the corner. Luke got a demo and a boost steal. And J-Russ needs one more touch to find Luke and reward him for all his hard work, which he does.
Luke with another pass coming off of J. Russ from the corner. Gets this kind of odd little carry in the flip. Brings it straight across in that far corner. And Luke somehow able to read that awkward pass.
Cool hand Luke. He's got the hot hand in Game 4. A must-win for Mirage as they continue to take the fight to Stromboli. Luke makes a save on the other side, only barely. Now J-Pow over to Heck, didn't have a lot of pace behind that pass. And J-Rush should get there. Freshness is waiting as well, and all he's got to do is buy his teammates time, not try to do too much. He didn't panic. He still has no boost. He's still maintaining possession down there because he knows Stromboli can't move downfield quickly right now.
These mistakes are so uncharacteristic of Stromboli right now. We're seeing it over and over again. They're presenting opportunities that other teams just haven't gotten to see. They keep getting into these bump battles with each other. They keep wanting to cut at the same time and run into each other. Another open net opportunity here for Freshness, and he's going to put that one away as it comes down and off the backboard.
Joe Fresh, Joe Clean as he makes it 4-0. Didn't have to do anything fancy here, and you can tell Game 5 is on the horizon to close out Week 4 between Stromboli and Mirage. How about this?
Unexpected. I expected Mirage to take down one of these matches. They are playing out of their minds right now, and they're playing in a situation, as we've said, where it's typically outside their comfort zone. They're playing at the height and the level of Stromboli. They're getting up there. They're meeting them in the air. They're getting these nice clears. J-Russ there, high in the air, carrying that one downfield to create some space, let his team breathe a little bit, trying to just control the clock now. Luke gets back, stops an opportunity there. They're playing outstanding.
It has been step-up day in North America and Europe as some of the upper echelon teams have been tested, and Luke will make it a hat trick in Game 4. Don't let him get started. They have. It's a big mistake.
You start letting these passing plays go. Mirage, 80% assist rate coming in. That is their bread and butter, and they are doing these kind of just clean, basic infield passes. These 90-degree cuts are working for them time and time and time again.
Alraz just going through the motions at this point. They should get a goal. No, they don't, because Joe Freshness makes the stop, even despite the demo. Now J-Russ looking to add yet another to the tally. He cannot just yet, but I don't think Mirage is done scoring. This victory lap's going to continue for a little while. That one's popped up. They have to play a little bit of defense. Even though J-Pow got a piece of J-Russ, he still made the save. nothing is going Stromboli's way in this game. And you know what? As well, it should not go their way. This is all about Mirage. All about the 6th goal that they're going to try to put on the board here. J-Russ across the way, Freshness no. Luke to follow, looking for number 4. That goes off to the corner and is cleared downfield.
Freshness just able to get there in time. Knocks that one away. They're just going to let that one go in. It looks like Luke wanted to make a jump at it, decided it was too far. We're up 5-0. I'm just not even going to bother. We're just going to let this one go.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I could save this, or I could just pick up this water and have a drink here and get an extra 18 seconds to hydrate and talk it over going into game 5.
I need to calm down. We're going to game 5. I don't want to strain my thumb or anything. I'm just going to let that ball go in.
Yeah, effort, hard. They're going to add another. It's of no consequence. It at least gives Stromboli a couple of goals to say, okay, we put a couple in. But, I mean, you'd have to imagine the last 90 seconds or so have not meant anything to either side. They have had their sights. They probably had their sights set on game 5 ever since it was 4-0.
Oh, Mirage checked out of this match a long time ago. They're playing just to make sure that they're staying warm and they're keeping pace. They're getting up in the air, trying to get a little bit more comfortable up there, though I don't know if you can. They look extremely comfortable at this point. It started off a little shaky when they were going up for these air battles in match number 1, but as time has gone on, they are looking better and better and better in that midfield.
Yeah, what a treat this has been to watch as Stromboli. They have been pushed to the limit. Look at the 7 shots from J-Russ. Only 1 goal. It's only 1. It was 1 of 5 that Mirage put up. Just a full stat line across the board for Mirage as they have fought back. A must-win game 4. They won it. Now it's a must-win game 5 as they take the undefeated Stromboli to the limit. What a finish to Friday night.
And the shot percentage right now is something I want to talk about for Mirage
Yeah.
too. This game is really where it started to click. In the other matches, they were getting up. We saw some close, like one goal differentials for the opening matches. Here, this shot percentage is way up. They're shooting 5 for 14 attempts. They're up there in the, I mean, over a third. They're shooting probably 36 to 40%, somewhere in that range. They are hot on these shots, and Stromboli starting to have breakdowns. This uncharacteristic play out of them is really starting to become more and more prevalent as these matches go on. They seem more and more uncomfortable.
5 goals in that game, the most that Stromboli has given up in a single game this season. They've been holding teams to 6, 7, or 8 goals in a series. And you saw what Mirage did, just decimating them in game 4. That was the game they had to win to stay alive. This is the one that determines how far up the standings they do or don't move. J-Russ, one last touch right at the end, just to make sure. 17 seconds in, it is Upset City on Champions Field.
Mirage is here, and they are putting the Stromboli name to the test. This is where Stromboli is going to make or break their name. I was expecting them, by the way that they've been playing, to be an undefeated automatic shoo-in, but the weaknesses are starting to show, and it is when you can get up and battle them in the midfield. If you can get up in the air and battle these guys, you've got a chance.
Alraz blocked by Freshness. A very much revitalized Mirage squad. This does not rain down, but it will be Alraz. He'll play Pepper with the backboard, and J-Russ will pop one away, avoiding the demo from Alraz. Freshness has Luke over to his right. He'll play it all the way downfield. Mirage looking like a well-oiled machine. J-Russ, a drive that's saved by J-Pow. Alraz has to get there, and he does as well. They don't have a lot of boost to work with, as Alraz drove right by the boost before it spawned. And now Freshness around Alraz, looking for Luke again. Oh, bar down and away.
Yeah, this series is so good. I have nothing else to say other than that. I am a I am a kid on Christmas right now watching these two teams battle this out.
Solari had a pretty good one. So too did Espanyol a couple of weeks ago. Maybe thought one of the better rival series matches we've had. This is a contender as well, as Mirage continues to fight Stromboli tooth and nail, holding a lead with 3 minutes left in Game 5. Intercepted by Alraz. Joe Freshness has J-Russ downfield. Can he get him? Yes, he can. Second touch to set up Joe. Instead, it's J-Pow. 2-on-1. Numbers favor Stromboli. Make it 3-on-2. And J-Russ got in just in time to make the save.
Luke up in the air quick there once again to break this one up, get it back down the field, gets himself a demo, and Freshness going to keep this ball moving towards the blue half.
Luke against Alraz. Nobody to challenge this, so it will fall to Joe. Luke, redirect, drop down to Joe, and Heck makes the save again. Boy, that kept Stromboli in this game the way this series has gone. J-Russ, another drive, and maybe the adrenaline got to him. He sailed it high.
Yeah, uncharacteristic clear there. Opportunity, ton of open field. Both players are behind you. They had only the defender. You had an opportunity there that you let slip through your fingers. Had he controlled that ball and brought it down, they could have isolated a 1v1 in the net or set up a pass play with a 2 or 3-on-1 situation.
Heck trying to center for Alraz. He cannot, so J-Pow has to retreat. No time for panic just yet. They still have 100 seconds, but it is counting down. J-Russ, blocked by Alraz. Now Heck. So go all the way across, just play keep away from the blue ones. J-Russ and J-Pow, again they collide. Challenge, neutral, twice. Downfield it goes again. It is Freshness, denied by Heck, as he'll guide one off to the corner. J-Pow and Alraz run into each other. That'll slow them down. Waiting is J-Russ, and he almost put it away. Now Freshness waiting for Heck to make a mistake. He doesn't. Instead, he finds his teammate J-Pow. Coming up on a minute to go. And Luke plays yet another one across. Another save. Make it number 6 in the game for Mirage. Luke the other way. No. Follow-up is saved by Alraz too.
This pressure that they are putting up is... Ooh, Alraz, 42 seconds left, gets a clean look at an open net, takes advantage off of a play here from J-Pow into the almost a dunk there, but instead stops the ball for him. Quick shot from Alraz. They're going to tie it up. 42 seconds. We may get a Game 5 OT.
Expect anything different whatsoever. The way this series has gone, Luke throws this across. Freshness got to have it. He does. Now Luke against Alraz, who barely got to that ball. Oh, man. Back and forth. This has been a treat. J-Pow looking for Alraz. Looking to break them. No. Follow-up is off. And Heck throws that off to the side. He couldn't get around for a shot. Oh, what an opportunity.
Oh, so close. A few looks at the net, not able to send anything home. We're down to 7. Opportunity here for J-Russ. Blocked away by Alraz. And we are going to see OT.
Clearly. I told you. This would be a really close series. Yeah, how about it? Game 5 overtime.
I'll give it to you. I don't even care about being wrong right now. I'm so happy that we're getting to watch this match. I'm just excited to be here in the moment.
Gonna up the prize pool with PayPal donations just for the privilege of watching these two teams play. Great closeout to the night here as we close out the mainstream of Week 4 North America. J-Russ, who's going to be the hero? Who you got in the chat? Heck, Alraz, J-Pow to go to 6-0, or Freshness, Luke, or J-Russ to spring a major upset to close out the week. J-Pow. Shot on is set away by Luke. Quickly back the other way, too. J-Russ has a chance. No, he went right underneath. Freshness now tried to split the defense, and Heck made the save. Oh, now J-Pow, everybody left the ball. This could be trouble. We saw a team leave Taroko open, but it didn't result in a goal here. Now Alraz, he's looking for J-Pow. J-Pow might have even been looking for Luke. He got neither as Luke made the stop. Now J-Pow, who's going to take this? It's J. Russ. Back and forth they go. Heart-stopping moment after heart-stopping moment. J-Pow looking to beat the defense, and Luke scrambles back for the save. They got a demo, though, on J. Russ. Numbers advantage, however brief it may be. And no RNG goal as it's clean respawn. There's Luke. Oh, how about it? Luke plays hero. Mirage stuns Stromboli.
I am speechless right now. We have finally seen the juggernaut get stopped here. Stromboli finally loses a match, and it's at the hands of Mirage. Luke, the guy that we said that needed to show up and be that third man, stepped up as the games went on, became more and more and more involved. 1 goal to his name that game, 4 saves, 4 shots. He was a huge player throughout this series. I don't know what to say other than thank you to all 6 of you guys that were in that match. That was an absolute joy and a treat to watch and commentate.
That was, yeah. I don't know where to start. That was incredible. Stromboli, they find their first loss. It's real tight, but Mirage jump up. They're now 3-2, no longer the middle of the pack. So an interesting look here. I mean, Stromboli, what? I don't want to say they struck out because, we went to game 5. It was in overtime. So really what I'm looking for is what was that little bit that pushed Mirage over the edge? Super, you go first.
I think it's the midfield presence. They were there to battle Stromboli in the air. Something that I was looking at, notes that I have down, is talking about how good J-Pow is about controlling that midfield. And this time when he went up, there was somebody there to meet him and greet him every single time. No free looks on the ball in midfield for Stromboli, and it really seemed to throw them off, and it started causing some communication breakdown. We saw a lot of bumps of each other between Heck. It really did feel like that kind of fell on Heck. He was involved in almost all of those situations that I saw, but they found something that threw Stromboli out of rhythm, and their rotations started falling apart on the defensive side.
All right, Stacks, I'm going to give you a thesis instead of a question, and you tell me if it's right or wrong and why. Watching Stromboli here, 5-0, they really kind of just work off of raw talent, and then Mirage here kind of put them to the test, and we saw Stromboli, we saw where they're kind of weak. Is that true or false, or why?
I don't think we saw where they're weak. I think that we saw a player in Luke play out of his mind, a performance that is long overdue for someone like Luke. All season long, Mirage they've just been average. They come in 2-2, just about 500 at 6-8 in their games. They've just been kind of skating by, barely beating teams, hanging around. They had to play out of their comfort zone. We talked about it throughout the series. They're a team that does not play very high up in the air. They did that, and sure. I don't think Stromboli was ready for that. I think that Mirage played in a way that Stromboli was not expecting. I don't want to say they took them lightly, but I do think that Mirage definitely elevated their game to the monumental challenge they were facing.
Well said. Super, you've got something to say.
Yeah, no, the thing that stands out to me is that I think that Mirage came in with a clear-cut plan. This is a pre-thought out, this is how we're going to play this team. This is something where they changed their game plan up specifically to this team. They watch tape, they know what this team has been doing, and they made a decision that this is how they were going to beat them, and they executed that plan flawlessly.
That's what we want to see in the rival series. Make those mistakes, go back to the lab again, and fix them all up. That's how you move up in the standings. Let's take a look at North America. Top of the crop, still Stromboli, baby. 1 loss, ain't no thing. They're still number 1, 5-1 after that last one. Mirage, number 4. Moving on up from that middle of the pack. Now Charlotte Phoenix sits there, 5-2-2. Jacob finds the first win with 72 pin connector as they take one of our matches earlier in the day. And RBG still 0-0-0. Number 10, 0-4. A little bit rough there for RBG. So watching these teams kind of jockey for position. We're in week number 4, and this is where we have a good look at the teams, the standings, and the league. Week 1, week 2, maybe a fluke here or there. Now I think we've kind of solidified where these teams are. I'm going to ask you guys real quick, how close to this will we see at the end of the season? Stacks, what surprises are you looking for?
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to a great match on Sunday, twitch.tv/Rival Esports, because you saw those standings there. If you thought today was a lot of fun with the matches that Chaos and Mirage had, they play each other first match of the B stream on Sunday. That's going to be a ton of fun, and I'm really excited about the upper middle of this league as it does start to kind of condense a little bit. And the heat's going to get turned up on a lot of teams over the next 3 weeks.
Well, I've had a ton of fun. Again, if you joined late into the broadcast, we are here in order to make sure everybody is safe, but the gameplay is still just as electric. That's going to wrap things up here for us at the Rival Series. Tomorrow, we've got the North American RLCS. Make sure you join Brody and the boys there. They'll be broadcasting as well from their place, and you'll be watching from your place. Again, for myself, Supersonic, Stacks, Subi, and Spaceman, it's a whole lot of S's, a whole lot of wins, and a whole lot of friends. We'll catch you next time, Rivals.